승리의 맛은 달콤했나 카우보이. 하지만 여기서 끝이라 생각하는 큰 오산이 이제 우리의 차례다. 기대해도 좋아. GSL 시즌 2 The Coming Storm. 모든 준비는 끝났다. 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another day of the round of 24 of the GSL Code S. We've had a ton of kick-ass days. I think today will be no exception, and I think what most of the people watching this stream are excited about is Scarlett playing.
Yeah. Scarlett and Maru playing today, and in fact, I would say that they're the favorites of the group.
I agree.
We also have our last newcomer of the season in Prince. Can he do anything here tonight? It seems very difficult for him to have any chance in this group.
We've been speculating over the last half hour before the show started. We were watching Prince set up and kind of trying to get a feel on, what kind of guy he is, what kind of person he is. We don't have that many new people that make it into the GSL. The competition's so fierce out here, and everybody's so good that when you have somebody new like Prince, and Prince is the greenest of the green, by the way.
Yeah, it's his first GSL.
Yeah.
He was never really a pro gamer before or anything, as far as I know. He's just kind of this new guy, and I was surprised in a couple of ways. Like, he didn't come in early. Your first GSL, I would imagine, since everyone else has been there a million times,
we
that you would come in early in practice.
We have people sometimes here 2.5 hours early, just sitting here.
That's
hanging
the way
out,
to do it.
Walking
it's
around
correct.
the studio. I don't know, just sitting in the chair, getting used to the feel of that.
So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything, but I would love to be surprised.
So for our players who've advanced, as you can see, Zet Special, Dark Stats, Solar Rogue, and Dream DRG.
Yeah, so far Zerg dominating the tournament, but we should point out also Group D, this is the first time in Legacy of the Void that we've had 3rd and 4th seeds advance out of a group in the round of 24 or 32.
Right.
Also, we're a little bit light on Protoss right now. As of this moment, we have Parting, Zest, and Stats as the only Protosses in round of 16.
We got a quick video, guys, then we'll start our matches.
안녕하세요. 아이디 프린스를 쓰고 있는 최민우라고 합니다. 이번에 아마추어로 처음 올라왔습니다. 너무 좀 생각보다 쉽게 들어가지고 좀 되게 얼떨떨한 기분이 많이 들었어요. 저는 대진 보고 좋았어요. 테란을 만나고 싶었는데 조성주 선수는 또 제4의 종족이라고는 하지만 그래도 테란을 만나서 좀 뭔가 보여줄 수 있진 않을까. 이기진 못하더라도 그런 생각으로 아무 생각 안 드는데 저랑 하는데 왜 굳이
I think this is the long time in a while with any new players in the GSL in over a year. So it's going to be exciting to see the players who we've played against for a long time on the ladder finally get to participate in a big tournament like GSL and see what they can show here.
어쨌든 팬분들 입장에서도 보기도 좀 새로운 재미고 하니까 저도 좀 궁금해요. 그 사람들이 어떤 모습을 보여줄지 기대되는 것 같아요.
진짜 생 아마추어 신분으로 이렇게 올라왔는데 많이 응원해 주셔서 감사하고 그에 걸맞는 경기력 보여줄 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다.
사실 올해 못해도 내년엔 할 것 같아서 그냥 마음 편하게 하면 할 것 같아요.
With the coronavirus situation recently, it's unfortunate that many of the tournaments in person have been canceled, but GSL is still here and I really like playing in GSL, so I'm really thankful for that. and I hope GSL continues for many years in the future.
GSL 하면서 2티어였던 적도 처음이고 그만큼 조가 정말 저한테 드디어 할만하게 조가 나왔는데 이번에 꼭 GSL 본선 무대에서 오프라인 무대 극복해서 진출하는 모습 보여드릴 수 있도록 열심히 하겠습니다.
라운드 24 마루 프린스 스칼렛 아르마니
All right. So we get a little interview from them. Kind of funny to see. I am not sure what to expect out of this first match, but Prince seems not too nervous or anything.
Yeah, he seems very okay with his situation.
Yeah, and you can see he's kind of smiling there.
Yeah,
oh, he switched shirts. Damn. I really.
Yeah,
he was very stylish. Coming
he
in
even
here
had that.
today,
This is a kind of more modern soul fashion, but a long shirt kind of goes long in the
Tucks
front,
in
but you
only
tuck
at
it
the
in the
very
front.
front.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of look like you're from like the 1600s or something.
Yeah, like you should have furly sleeves
the
on.
sleeves should be
You
furly,
should
but
fight
they aren't
with a
quite.
rapier.
Oh, for sure, rapier. Yeah, it would be the only sword that Prince would carry for sure.
But no, seriously, stylish guy coming out here. Look, in a weird way, this is, at least for experience, this is probably the best thing that could happen to Prince. As he comes in here and faces one of the greatest players of all time, Maru, and let's just see how well he does. Nobody expects him to win.
No.
So even if he gets smashed, that's what normally happens when he faces Maru. If he does okay, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
And if he wins, it's the craziest thing in the world. So I think better to start here. He'll get all the nerves out of the way. He'll have a better feel for what a real GSL match is like with the lights on and the casters casting his game and the cameras in his face like they are right now. And then we'll see where he goes. Assuming he loses here, we'll see how he does in the losers match.
Yeah, and he was pretty zen about having Maru as his opponent.
Yeah.
He seems to just want to play against a Terran anyways, so, I mean, good on him. He doesn't seem nervous that much right now. Sometimes you can kind of look at someone and be like, oh, this person's nervous, but he seems reasonably relaxed for a rookie.
We've had a lot of players physically shaking in between games because there's
It's
so much adrenaline.
quite common.
It's very common. Our game is ready. Maru vs. Prince, the best of 3 starts now.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까?
We have an extra hot 6 can now on the graphic.
제네어 그린 윙스 마루 조성주
What are you laughing at?
I love it. Tasteless.
Oh,
I love
look
it.
at this!
First off, the pylon placement, that's what I was laughing at, but then I saw the forge queue up. And this is a barracks outside.
Oh my
He
God.
is going to win game 1.
Oh!
He's going to win game 1, dude.
Perfectly placed pylon,
Oh yeah,
too.
no, he has this prepped. Is there any way to lose this?
I don't think so.
He's cannon rushing a Terran player, which we know that
Never
it
see.
technically can happen,
Yeah.
but
Usually
it never
on-
happens.
Yeah, usually on ladder.
My God.
So cannon's here. I think he'll throw a pylon up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that Maru proxied on the map, but this is really actually quite brilliant when you consider how known Maru is to do proxies on the map, to try something that's essentially very risky, but at the same time, if the dice roll in your favor, then you're just going to win the game. Now, keep in mind, keeping the probe alive is essential here.
Yes.
So he already lost 1 probe, and Maru is being pretty smart tactically by trying to dive through these SCVs.
Just starting these cannons, he's won the game. Like, there's no way for him to lose from here, I would say, right?
This is so crazy.
Maru has a Reaper that just popped out. Does a Reaper beat 5 cannons?
Well, there's got to be a cannon in the main as well, right?
I'm certain he started one.
I'm
yes.
1,000% sure. There it is.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be a little bit late, but I don't think that will...
You can't even get the SCVs out of the main base, Tasteless.
Yeah.
You can't even do that. Look at this. He's like trying to make a factory over there.
Well, I think you can get maybe 1 or 2, but...
Yeah, maybe if you drill them, you get like a couple out, but...
I'm not even familiar with how much, what the feel is of a Reaper doing damage to a building making, because we never get to see it.
Oh my God.
Oh, they actually get out a little bit.
All right, well, he actually gets out way more than
Yeah, I thought.
But anyways, this has been.
Now, here's what you can do from here. You can make a cannon on the high ground over where the CC's landed.
Yeah, that would be true. Did he get to fully deny the factory? I guess he did not.
No, which
so
is actually a fairly big deal.
Okay, is there any way for Maru to win this from this
of all people in the world that could win it, I think Maru is the person. Okay, so he's going to make a gateway on the low ground. I think he wants to make one stalker and start to poke at the SCV's mining.
And I'm sure a Cyclone is going to be what Maru's looking for here.
Had Prince completed the wall, blocking that mule off as the SCVs and the mule were snaking around the initial pylon wall, we would already be going into game 2.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the things about great players is they've definitely had to deal with exactly this kind of situation before. This isn't like it's Maru's first time being cannon rushed.
Well, his experience with it has to be like 1,000,000 times less than Prince's.
Right.
You know, because Prince obviously practiced to do this to Maru. And, I mean, as far as I know, Maru doesn't practice on the North American server, so I don't know if he's actually hit this very much, you know?
He is going to take out this gas, but, you know, cannons are going to finish here again.
Dude, that one cannon. Look at the way he's moving the probe, even. That patrolling SCV does not see it.
Now, he can get a bunker in range here. I'm actually surprised he's not making it a little bit closer, but in range of the Nexus.
I think he just needs something to run back to. He's actually, like, does he have a Cyclone coming right? Yeah, look at this. He's just going to kill the... That's, like, great. Better start making a shield battery or something.
I think he... I think he's going to lose. I think Prince is actually going to lose now.
Prince will lose this? Well, now that there's a Cyclone in there, maybe you're right.
Already been one of the crazier games this year. Yeah, he's going to get the Nexus, and there's not 400 minerals yet.
Oh my God. This is exactly what we need. Okay, what's he recalling, actually? A Stalker. A very red Stalker.
Okay, something weird happened there because...
I think he did it on purpose. I think the SCVs surrounded it, basically.
Oh, I see.
But look at this.
This is this third base being
What a
taken
fool
over.
I was to think that Maru would lose to a can rush when he had nothing.
There's so much of a butterfly effect feel in this game. I mean, had he gone back and actually locked out those workers, I think there wouldn't have been the capital to do this, but Maru is a very good player.
Oh, he's going to lose that Stalker now?
No.
Oh my God, it makes it out. Oh, he's surrounded! Oh, but it got out! It got out! Prince has like no probes now. Did he make a flying unit? Because he made a Stargate. No, I guess he did not. Oh God.
That's it. GG, Maru takes game 1.
He could have had that.
He actually could have had that, yeah.
I bet you Parting is watching this game licking his lips. Parting's like, oh yes, I will win GSL this season. Thank you, Prince.
I like
that
the
was
idea.
So, I thought he was going to win, man.
I was like standing up and jumping. Those cannons got thrown down there. But look, I think he takes this one on the chin. He goes into game 2. And, you know, what does he do? It makes sense that you do that in game 1, but now you've sort of shown what you're willing to do.
Yeah. Well, I think Maru will probably build his barracks in his base this game.
Yeah, most likely. I don't know. I welcome anything that we're going to see from Prince. Prince is the rookie of StarCraft 2 this year here in Korea. It's his first GSL ever. Let's see what happens on Death Aura for game number 2, Maru vs. Prince.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 제네어 그린윙스 마루 조성주 팀 GP 프린스 최민우
Okay. God, I wish he had won that first game.
Me too.
It would have been so cool. But
Well, to be up 1-0 against Maru and then see what he brings out after that. But now it's like, it felt like he couldn't have had a more favorable situation, you know?
by the way, games like that represent probably what a lot of the people that are watching experience on ladder, right? You know, when you get cannon rush like that, you think, oh my gosh, I watch GSL or any of the other big tournaments, and I don't ever see stuff like this happening. Why not? Well, you're kind of seeing why. Even though Maru on paper was in a absolutely terrible position, you kind of see how he's able to, even in crazy situations like that, come out on top, like starting to hit the gas, taking that out, then getting in a position where you can hit the Nexus, getting the SCVs out in time. I mean, those cannon rushes look unstoppable until you realize they haven't invested in anything that makes attacking units.
Yeah.
You know, you're Terran, you can still float your buildings. You have Reapers that can jump up and down. You can get a Cyclone that can target at a distance. And in some ways, that could be pretty helpful for people that are watching who get stuck at lower tiers and lose to stuff like that.
It can, but at the same time, the hardness of holding something like that, like Maru just did, it's hard to learn that part of it, right? Like, top pro gamers can do things that are basically magic to lower players, right? You see Maru micro sometimes, it's like, yeah, no matter how many times you watch that, you can't do it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we even have that at the pro level. I remember back when Beyond broke Reapers so bad they had to get nerfed, only from his play.
Yeah,
Maru tried to do the same
doing it.
strat as him and went 0-2 with it and then switched to regular strats and 3-0'd his opponent because he literally could not micro anywhere near as good as Beyond with the same exact strategy. So to kind of look at some of these things and be like, all right, that's how I stop that. Well, playing like Maru is not going to be easy. Oh my God, look at this. Prince is bringing the cheesiest of cheese.
I love it.
Charge right off the bat.
Let's also keep in mind, I think if you're Prince, you're taking this one game at a time, one day at a time, right? I mean, you're just trying to do whatever you think is best against your opponent. And Maru's the only Terran in this group, and then Maru is probably going to be the first player to advance out of this group. So the odds that Prince is going to have to face him more than 2 or 3 games here is pretty low.
As far as I'm concerned, Tasteless, Prince is about to be 2-0 against Maru. Okay.
Yeah. This is a moral 2-0.
Yeah.
A moral victory.
Well, I wouldn't call it moral because morally,
this is an amoral victory.
Yeah, this is an amoral victory. But
oh no!
That right there is painful. That was like a totally unneeded let-in, I would say, right? Unless this was some sort of bait and he really wanted it in.
No, I don't think so.
But as soon as does he identify that there's one on gas there?
I think Maru would definitely see immediately.
Let's see if he starts a bunker. If he starts, he saw so
there's
many
so much. Yeah, there's enough evidence here that it should be clear that there's a big attack inbound.
Building placement seems pretty good against charge, doesn't it? A little bit less good now. It was like a full wall there for a moment.
So Zealot charge is going to finish, and then this Warp Prism is going to be here. And this is when the damage is going to, it has to be done now. I'm sorry, what did he just cancel there?
Bunker.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit worried now because we see the Marines going down the ramp.
Well, let's see if he can get on top of that siege tank. He actually goes right in on top of the SCVs, so he'll definitely kill quite a few of those. His Stalker's not being microed well at the moment.
Is he gonna get that one tank?
Doing some work. Yeah, he gets the siege tank. He's killed
Another
10
warp
SCVs.
Now, if these Marines can actually target down that Warp Prism, it seems like the SimCity, though, of these structures really interferes with the pathing.
It's really, really good. There's no question about that.
Is he going to kill him?
Prince is still microing quite frantically here, trying to get his Zealots in on top of something.
I do want to point out he's on top of production here, or he was a second ago.
We just saw also a stop position there on the SCVs, and that screwed up the AI of the Zealots there, so he lost a lot of potential damage, and now he loses the Prism as well.
Okay, he needs
you
to
can see
micromanage
he's having
better.
a hard time against these SCVs just stopping. This is really kind of funny to watch, because Prince is actually bringing builds that should kill Maru, and then Maru is just like, oh, I'm just better than you.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, if you have SCVs on attack move, then the Zealots will auto target them. But if you put them on stop, then the Zealots try to move around them.
Yeah, so he actually lost a huge amount of damage there through that. So, I mean, a good hold, but that was still a lot of damage.
I mean, it's 18 workers right now to 48. So Prince, once again, has put himself into, on paper, an unlosable position. All it would require from here is proper execution. I should actually say perfect execution. But let's see if he can do it. I mean, I'm a little bit dumbfounded that we're having people plan this well. A player like this, I should say, plan this well.
Well, that's
Maru.
exciting about him for the future, I have to say.
I see how he got into GSL. That much is clear now. This guy knows the right builds to pick.
Well, this is especially cool because the level of prep that we're seeing in these 2 builds already this is like SOS level prep stuff where you're like, what? Are we doing that in GSL Codas? What? And again, truly, this feels like it's a 2-0 right now for Prince.
Yeah.
Of course, it might end up being a 2-0 for Maru, but are we going to count that truly?
No, not. All right, Maru taps out. Maru just taps out.
Yes, he's
cracking of the knuckles here by Prince.
So Prince right now going to go for a 3-0 against Maru. Crazy stuff. But look, you kind of see, like, even Maru not dying straight up to this push is like some inexperience on Prince's part. Like the stop position on the SCVs.
He didn't have his screen over that, it looked like, for a little bit. He definitely wasn't watching that going, no.
Yeah, he thought that maybe his Zealots were going to pair better by themselves. I'm not sure exactly, but Maru bringing out every stop to try to stop these things. Pillars of Gold.
Look, I don't know what's going to happen. Again, I'm most interested in seeing what the build order Prince picks is, because so far...
I like that as a nickname, the Build Order Prince.
Oh.
Not the king of build orders.
The Build Order Prince. Let's see what he does, man. He's basically planned perfectly. He just has to finish what he started. Game 3 has now loaded up. Let's find out who wins versus Maru versus Prince. Versus Maru versus Prince. I gotta go.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까?
That's the sound of Maru's heart beating. Thinking about what build Prince is gonna use.
제네어 그린 윙스 마루 조성주. 팀 GP 프린스 최민우.
All right. I can't wait to see what he has planned here. If he just goes like Blink 3 gate into a third base, I'm done with him, Tasus. I'm not going to be played around with like that. You know? I don't want any after those 2 games, you better have something just as magnificent in game 3.
The thing is, Maru, at this point in time, has to be hyper vigilant about what could be coming his way, right? I mean, what Prince has come in here with is really interruption builds, where you just start doing something and it completely blindsides what they're trying to do. And if done correctly, you basically get set up for a win. And he basically had game 1 won, and then just didn't quite mechanically seal off the workers from escaping. Because if you can stop them,
if he has
getting
no
the workers out,
he can't
it's
get
like,
into Cyclones.
Yeah, well, he just, even if he has a factory, he might not be able to make a Cyclone, you know? And so, I mean, he could have just won. But let's see, and I'm also curious to see if he had a plan for game 3, and if so, what is it going to be?
Well, you don't need to plan for game 3 if you're 2-0, Tasteless.
That's true.
But he's going for the 3-0 because he really wants us to see his full potential here. I don't know. He's taking an expansion, very standard stuff out of him. Maru going into a factory now. So, and this is what I think you should see out of Maru. I think that he should go a little bit tech-heavy early on here and maybe try to do a bit of harassment, which is also going to give you reconnaissance against Prince. But look at this, right? Prince is going into Stargate. He's just making a couple of deps. So this looks like a pretty darn standard opening. So if you cheese your opponent hardcore twice, if you think about it, right? A Terran player gets cheesed hard twice. What you want to do is take some of the randomness of build orders out early on. Get yourself a little bit more tech, give yourself a few more options, some more scouting intel, some potential to deal damage to your opponent, and that's exactly what Maru's doing. But if Prince opens with a slightly more defensive macro-esque opening like this, just expansion into Stargate, like if the medvac comes, what if he starts a Phoenix here? Oracle, but you get my drift, right? Like
Sure.
you're going to be it's going to be much easier to defend things.
Right. Well, if you have a player that is really trying to brace for impact, whatever impact that may be, and not get cheesed out and not get blindsided, and they over defend, and the player, in fact, is not going to attack at all, that can put that very defensive player at a disadvantage where they were really preparing for something that never came.
Yeah.
And this is where, StarCraft is a lot like a poker game, right?
Yes,
the ability to play different hands, even throughout the different variables that you're given in each round of, of a poker game is so important.
Yeah.
And so this is really why a best of 3, best of 5, best of 7 is so necessary to decide who advances here. So we have the Hellions coming in now. This Oracle's not going to be able to kill this that easily. Already 8 kills. It picks up 2 of the Hellions.
Yeah,
and
he's going to drop it again for sure. He's just trying to use up a lot of energy here on the Oracle.
Okay, the very last second drops that out. Kills off 11 probes.
Yeah.
Which puts them at about even.
Yeah, that's right. So he did. I would say that Maru's ahead here because he does have a little bit more tech, and don't forget that the Terran economy scales slightly differently than Protoss, right? Protoss is supposed to be up at probes at this point in the game, but only up 3 after these build orders. I like where Maru's at after that.
Yeah, and
but it's not end of the world at this moment.
This is the first game where Maru has initiated and then taken the lead in the series. Everything else has been dictated by Prince. Win or lose.
Well, Prince getting up to his 3rd base rather quickly. He has those Phoenixes out, so can stop drops. Maybe we'll see if he does some harassment with them as well.
Now we've got the Forge coming. Protoss is going to tech up in a very normal fashion, albeit, lagging behind slightly where the Terran is getting developmentally.
It's a cool-looking Phoenix, man. They're all dancing.
Well, there's a couple that are chill dancing, and there's one that's bugging out. He's going crazy. He's got different music playing inside that Phoenix.
Look at Maru making a couple turrets at home. Moving out with this little push.
Yeah, the push is coming.
The push looks scary.
He's pocketed a tank inside the medevac.
Oh, no. He doesn't have any idea.
Oh, he actually misses this with a scout, too. That's really too bad because
this is going to appear.
Sometimes, this will happen to Protoss is where if they don't scout it, suddenly there's just tanks in siege mode and everything's set up perfectly right outside the position that they would have liked to have tried to engage.
His army cannot stop this. He's got Phoenixes and 3 Adepts.
This may flatten Prince here.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that bunker. That's dirty. Look at that. You can't even get over to the ground army now.
Oh my God, the mine hits, just insane.
I think this bunker's still going to finish as well.
Well, it looks like
never mind.
Yeah, it gets picked
save
off,
it,
but
I don't think it matters. This game is over.
Yeah, it's super duper over. Oh my God.
One gateway goes down. Vikings landed. This should be the killing blow. Keep in mind that this is also blocking off probes from transferring to the 3rd. GG.
All right. Well, this was an exciting series from Prince. Maru wins as expected, but it didn't look like you would expect coming in today.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what exactly Prince would have to say about this, because he basically had game 1 won. We all saw the same thing. Yeah, he was in a winning spot. He easily crushed Maru in game 2, so he's showing he's more than capable of beating the greatest Terran that we have in GSL. He can beat him if he can execute what he needs to do. So this is actually really exciting. This means that we should expect some pretty great things, even if he doesn't advance this season. Down the road, I think we've got a player that has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he does in the next coming year or two.
We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, our second best of 3 Don't go away.
싱그러운 청귤 실성 사이다를 만나다. 이런 청량함은 처음이야. 실성 사이다.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
라운드 24 마루 프린스 스칼렛 아르마니 아프리카 TV 프레이업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What's up, everybody? We're back. It's time for Scarlett versus Armani. We had a really great match with Maru versus Prince. Prince showing a lot of promise. Prince even defeating Maru in Game 2. He basically had Maru beaten in Game 1, but didn't do the killing blow correctly, and Maru managed to wiggle out of that. Maru being Maru, he then came through with a win there. So even Maru not having an easy time today. Up next, Scarlett versus Armani.
Yeah, this should be an interesting one. I actually wasn't aware, but Armani is second seed and Scarlett's third.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny because I look at it the other way. I find Scarlett to be, she's kind of like, she's just more experienced than Armani. I think generally everyone agrees that she's better.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming in as a slightly lower seed, I still think that she's going to take it though.
I think Scarlett takes it. Armani, though, he's been
He's
rapidly improving. He did start out, a little while ago as, the lowest ranked player in GSL at times.
Yeah.
Again, not a bad player overall. This is the most competitive tournament that there is for StarCraft. But, it's hard for me to imagine Scarlett losing it. She's very comfortable, especially in ZVZ at planning.
Yeah. Very smart at the matchup and has a full range of plays. But Armani's good. We'll see. I mean, if Armani won, I wouldn't be like super surprised, but you gotta lean towards Scarlett here.
I think so. I think Scarlett's a slightly safer bet. And of course, Scarlett's been in so many GSLs now. She's very comfortable in this setting. She oftentimes performs very well. Our first map is going to be Ice and Chrome, and that is just now loaded up. This is game 1 of Scarlett versus Armani. The winner goes on to face off against Maru.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니, 박진영.
All right.
Okay.
See what these two are going to be up to. It's snowing. Middle of summer and it's
Cold,
snowing.
man. Yeah. I would welcome some of the snow right now. It's been too hot in Seoul lately.
Imagine, though, if it snowed when it was hot instead of cold. It would hurt when the snow landed on you because you're wearing shorts and t-shirt.
You'd
and
have
like
hot snow on.
Hot snow lands on
Yeah.
you. It's like bacon grease or something. That would be terrible tasteless. That would be awful, man.
When it's hot snowing, it's like cooking bacon without a shirt on.
Yeah,
It's
pure danger. You got to be careful about that. Which, actually, this is a great time to ask because, I mean, science can't explain it. How is rain not hot when it rains when it's hot?
It's a good question, Artosis.
How would that even be tasteless?
So many things these scientists can't answer.
They just can't figure it out, man.
With Scarlett versus Armani, one thing about Scarlett is she rarely makes any major mechanical mistakes in ZVZ. Her decision making is very, very on point. Armani ZVZ, in my mind, doesn't stick out as much to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I feel like
for
they've
sure.
casted a lot of Scarlett ZVZs. I mean, let's not forget Scarlett knocked out Rogue in the last GSL in a really exciting series.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure what Armani would need to do specifically if he was going to beat Scarlett. This will, of course, be dependent on what tech routes both players choose to go. I think ZVZ is a very good mirror matchup. I know a lot of people call into question. In StarCraft 1 and 2, certain mirror matchups and certain patches or iterations of the game. But ZVZ, you can go into a very explosive early on fight, or you can try to do some unusual teching in the mid game, or we do have late game ZVZ, which is pretty dramatic and very complex.
And I like a lot of the games where someone's playing a more mid-game approach against a later game approach and trying to see who's going to take that. I like ZVZ in StarCraft 2. I think it's a great
very
matchup.
good.
Some really entertaining things that occur. Right now, pretty much mirrored what they're up to. We'll wait and see if a big plume of Ling starts anywhere, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case.
So the Baneling nests are both coming down here, but that doesn't necessarily mean any aggression. You can get a Baneling nest just to ensure that you don't die to any of their Zerglings. And for now, with both players taking a third base, it seems like it's going to be actually somewhat passive for starts here. I mean, these Lings that are coming in, this is to scout and confirm what's going on.
Solid scout, too. You see that there's no layer, which is really what you're looking for the most.
Yep.
We just saw Armani start +1 ranged and then cancel and go into layer. Kind of interesting there. Wonder if this means that he's going to end up going for mutas.
It's definitely possible. We also have Scarlett taking additional gases here. The Roach Warren has just now started. By the way, both players are now going for range attack upgrade here on the ground.
There we go. Yeah. Roach Warren coming up for Armani right now. Some additional gases going on. These are some droning players right here.
Yeah. Usually we have one of the players pull the trigger and start to make Lings, but we're going to go into a really developed game economically here.
Yeah,
there's going to be
kind of crazy, actually.
Drone saturation on all the minerals and gases, and a little bit here. Maybe not the gases, I should say, but yeah. And now we're probably going to be looking for 4th and 5th bases. Also, when the armies are going to start amassing, even the Lings that you've seen made, they're not made because they're trying to fight. They're made because they're trying to scout. So, I mean, this is cool. We have what appears to be a game pointed towards a pretty late and dramatic one.
Well, their economies are truly getting online here.
Yeah.
Seems like Scarlett has just a tiny lead as far as the economy goes.
What's funny is that either side could have gone for a bunch of Lings and tried to attack and punish the other side, but this happens sometimes where both players call the other one's bluff. And it just, we basically have two players that have gone untouched as far as damage and have completely set up to the economic positions that they were going for. Now we're seeing deviation. So Armani is making a Nidus network. We just have roaches being made right now for Scarlett. So it looks like Armani is going to be the first player to try to attack out. And this is going to become a challenge as far as positional defense goes.
Scarlett has actually made a couple of drop overlords, so I believe what we're going to see is some Baneling drops coming up, but against a full-on Nidus attack that's going to be occurring.
Yeah, you might need that stuff back at home.
Yeah, like Baneling drops in a pure macro game, which is what this was looking like. I feel like this would be a fantastic play with that Overlord speed. But right now, this is scaring me a bit for Scarlett.
So it looked like even the Observer actually anticipated. Shine thought that there was going to be the Nidus networks made in the main. Okay, here we go. Here comes that Baneling drop now. Ooh. Beautifully done. 6 kills, but the Nidus network's going to finish.
Yeah, Nidus coming up right now, going into the main base. Now that this group of roaches is going to attack into the front. Good micro from Scarlett, pulling back that one Ravager.
The second drop is initiated, and how many more drones are going to be killed? 16 more drones killed off. The question now is, can Scarlett actually defend against the multi-pronged attacks of roaches here from Armani? Armani will not be able to recover economically for a while, but he still has an army that Scarlett has to fight off.
Well, we're so close to Scarlett's base. Even though there is a Nidus, Scarlett can get those roaches up there pretty darn quickly. Spine being moved in the main base right now.
Right now, the worker count is 64 here for Scarlett, 41 for Armani. Armani is taking a fight up here in the main for Scarlett. Scarlett is sending the rest of her units here, and it seems like in this this fight, Armani beginning to dominate. More roaches still popping out here for Scarlett. Scarlett has to control this area. If she doesn't, she'll lose control of her main base. It'll be almost impossible to recover. If Scarlett holds this, she has a worker count. She should be able to keep enough of a lead that she'll have a win here in the end, but it's a very close fight.
Yeah, it really is a very close fight right now with these queens jumping out for Armani as well. You can see that he is completely committing to this. Now, we have the drones coming out for Scarlett, maybe a little bit too late on those drones. She really, all she needs to do here is hold on, but that might not be possible anymore.
I think you're right, Artosis. It seemed like if she pulled the drones a little bit quicker, maybe like 5 seconds earlier, this might have been enough to take the fight. Still, though, Scarlett's barely hanging on. The last queen goes down.
Well, at this point, their drone count is getting pretty close, so you have to hold on, and then it's going to be a much more even game than what it was before. So let's see if Scarlett can do it. Looks like she might just barely hold on here.
Yeah, somehow, some way, she narrowly held that, but of course she had to use her workers to defend there.
Yeah, and that took away the lead that she actually had.
Things are balanced out. I think
much closer now.
Right now, Armani still has the opportunity to initiate fights on the map a little bit more easily. Also, remember that Scarlett needs to remake a decent amount of her drones. You can see her main base is not really mining.
Honestly, she might want to attack. She does have that one additional attack upgrade that finished, and that makes a pretty darn big difference, you know?
Yeah. Well, right now, Scarlett is not using Nidus Tech. She's also getting the armor upgrade, so maybe she won't actually attack for a little bit.
Yeah, as she drones up, that definitely is looking more.
Whenever you see a player start an upgrade like that, you have to think, all right, well, they're not going to do anything for a while, or otherwise, why would they be upgrading this?
Yeah, if you're going to go try to kill your opponent in a situation like this where your economy's hurt, it's not like you need the +1 armor upgrade just in case your attack doesn't work.
Yeah, in case it fails later on, you're going to have less stuff with more armor.
Yeah. It's not going to help you out. What?
I thought for a second, I was like, he missed the changeling. That's too bad. Now, Scarlett's going to expand out again. She's confident that if Armani tries to attack into her, she'll be fine. We don't see an expansion, or a fourth base, I should say, for Armani.
Yeah, no,
Still waiting to see.
Yet.
The threat of a Nidus attack, again, is very real.
Don't forget, even though Armani ended up killing a decent amount of drones over on Scarlett's side, she had more drones for longer.
That's
so
right.
That is a big, big deal. The earlier you lose them, the more it impacts you. And you can see that kind of being shown here as Scarlett shoots ahead a bit as far as the supply goes.
Now, both players have drawn up slightly more. We have the fourth base starting here for Armani. I wonder if we're going to have Baneling drops again coming up here. You know, there's not a lot stopping Scarlett from doing it.
Yeah, I guess, you know, just making the Banelings and sending them over, but the game is slow enough that I think you can't expect that to work again.
Well, here we go.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's a roach drop.
That's going to have a little bit more staying power, but
roaches are funny like this because, you know, you see them a lot of times taking fights in big groups, but they take a while to kill. So when you send 4 roaches over here, it's a headache for the other side to deal with it. And by the way, Armani's counterattacking. I don't see anything coming back here to help defend.
Well, this is actually doing a lot then, right? Already a queen dead, already 8 drones dead as well. I don't think that Armani's army is big enough to do anything here, especially in that choke.
I'm a little bit shocked to see Armani just move out here. This is easily sealed off by Scarlett. Oh, hold on. Did Scarlett move here? All right. Both these areas, it's too tight of a bottleneck for Scarlett to actually come in and do any damage. Now, there's a Nidus network coming down here. Some good splitting here by Armani. By the way, worker count again, Scarlett back up to 64, Armani down to 42. So we have a similar situation to what we had earlier. Yeah. Scarlett needs to hold off the attack, and she'll be in a good spot. But Armani positionally has a really, really good setup. He's hitting in 3 different locations at once.
All right, moving up right now. Armani trying to get that damage done, but a gigantic flank coming in from Scarlett. Her army is just bigger. Her economy is bigger. Her upgrades are better. Armani, though, is attacking multiple locations at once.
Armani's going to guard the ramp so that nothing else can get up there and start dismantling the main base here. We see the spawning pool under attack. Scarlett may try to just force a fight up here. You can see that the angling of a lot of this is not favorable here for Scarlett. But she might just have enough. She should have a superior upgrade here as well with that armor. That's it. She did it. She held it. She wins game 1. That was a great match.
Yeah, nice and close, kind of back and forth there, but Scarlett did seem to have an edge for the majority of that game. Armani pulling the trigger with that Knight is unable to finish her, though.
Are we going to have a pretty epic macro game like we had in game 1?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Scarlett's very good.
I was actually surprised with how drone heavy they both were for a minute.
We actually don't get that very often at all.
It's not very often.
Especially not in Zerg vs. Zergs with Korean players.
No, exactly.
They
right?
like
If
to
you're going
fight.
to see people make nothing but drones, go watch the European server. But
The StarCraft 1 spirit, is still there of short Zerg vs. Zerg games. So cool to have a macro game here in GSL.
Yeah.
Everdream will be our game for game number 2, our map for game number 2.
all right. I mean, Scarlett looked better in that first game, so I'm feeling it.
All right, game 2 is ready. Scarlett vs. Armani continues on.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니, 박진영.
Now we wait.
Now we have early game ZVZ where we watch the production tab until someone builds something that's not a drone.
I wonder how Prince will do against one of these two.
I'm really excited for that match. That'll be the losers match, of course. It'll really come down to how Prince's PVZ is.
Yeah.
We've
I
seen a
hope
lot of
it's not just
Protosses
Glaive
dying.
PVZ.
Yeah. Well, he had really good planning against Maru, and that was the matchup I was most confident Prince would be the weakest at, simply because Maru manhandles other players so often. But look, he looked really good, and even though I think there's going to be some sense of disappointment that he basically could have beaten Maru for his first match debuting at GSL and then didn't. I still think he's probably riding a high, saying, whoa, wait a minute, I actually look like a really good GSL player. It looks like I actually belong here.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be feeling confident going into game 2.
Maybe.
Series 2 for him.
All right, well, nothing out of the ordinary as of yet. Both players going for speed, mostly droning up. A couple things, a bit of scouting done perhaps.
So ZVZ, again, it can go in so many different directions depending on what tech you want to do, how much you want to macro up versus how much you want to attack. Zerg has this very straightforward feature about it where you can't be both macroing and then attacking. I mean, it's more of a Protoss and Terran are kind of like a manual drive, and Zerg is like a stick sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, it's like we're shifting into only making drones. We're going to shift out of that. We're going to make attack units do this. We're going to shift back into drones.
Certainly true.
Where you know, for instance, Protoss and Terran, they could be making an SCV or a probe and be making out of their other structures.
Yeah, worker production is a lot simpler in that regard. For sure.
You're kind of making those workers along with everything else, and then you eventually stop. And if you lose more workers, you'll make more workers. But
that's how you show if you're a great Zerg player, is knowing when to stop droning. It's one of the biggest questions. Like, remember when Immortal pushes were really feared about a year ago?
Sure.
And it just came down to like, okay, how many drones can you actually fit out before you have to prepare for this?
Yeah, and you know, it's another funny feature of when you see players who are Protoss or Terran try to play Zerg, is they don't stop making drones.
They drone at the wrong times, yeah.
It's really funny, yeah.
It's always such big economy Zergs in your life.
Yeah, in the 22 years of StarCraft being out, this has always been one of the like kind of funny quirks of seeing someone switch over is just not really knowing how to do this thing.
Too few or too many. It never feels quite right.
Yeah.
All right, we do have some Lings out there right now. A few Banes being made. Layer on the way for Armani.
And this is a great Ling scout here. Armani, just like game one, gets the Lings inside the main. And even things like just counting how many gases are taken are essential.
Oh, yes. And seeing that no layer is on the way, that's kind of a big deal as well.
Yeah. A Roach Warren's been placed down here. We have more Lings coming in here for Scarlett, barely killing that drone and then getting back out.
Yeah, good little pick off there. Armani going for +1 melee. See, I think Armani will probably throw down a Spire.
Scarlett with a pretty interesting mid-game attack here. Keep in mind that 2 Banelings will blow up their Banelings, any number of their Banelings. So there's always this weird dance you have of you want to have 1 or 2 Lings attack their Baneling, because if you kill that, it's not cost efficient for them. But if you can have your Banelings kill their Banelings in certain positions, depending on who has more Lings, that can also be good. This was one of the weirder things to watch develop when the game first came out, too.
Yeah, Ling Bane micro was really, really funny in the beginning.
Yeah.
Watching the different ways that it was getting done. Spreading everything just more than one Baneling splash apart and right-clicking it in. That was the Bane train.
And also knowing when you want to hit Zerglings with your Banelings versus when you want to hit Workers with your Banelings.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so Scarlett spread out a little bit. Layer's going to be finishing pretty soon. Interesting from Armani. We see that +1 melee, but we don't see any additional tech. There's the Spire. That's kind of late compared to when the Layer finished.
Yeah, that is a little bit late, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, and look at where he puts it.
Ah, that's very well hidden.
That's not going to be seen. And if Scarlett, some of this will depend on if Scarlett chooses to be aggressive enough, because if you get aggressive enough, you're scouting anyways, just because they have to show their hand. But if Armani gets to have a quiet game against Scarlett and doesn't identify what's happening, and I don't know that she will figure this out. This is going to be pretty hard to identify. There's going to be so many mutas coming out.
Yeah.
And the game might be turned on its head.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I think the easiest way to tell that there's a Spire will be the +1 melee. Like, if you notice that that's happening, when you see, like, that's how I thought it was going to be a Spire, is when melee started instead of range attack. It's like, oh, okay, well, what are you going to do that's going to pair with that well?
Yeah. Oh my God, is she gonna find this?
No.
Oh, this kills me. This is a story of GSL, is like, it's just a screen length away.
Yeah, always.
Now it seems like what she's doing is parking some units up here so that she can counterattack the third later, but they are right next to each other. By the way, these Lings are gonna get this hatch, and that was not canceled. That was not a canceled hatchery.
Yeah, I think she might start to realize now, because when you see something like that, that has to do with +1 attack as well.
Thing is, the mutas are already out, so I don't know how prepared Scarlett's really going to be for this. There is going to be a Baneling
she doesn't
drop.
have any anti-air, really.
No, look at this.
It's going after that group of Roach Ravager immediately.
Oh, God. Oh, this is so bad. I mean, the Queens can help, but, they're not that great. Queens just become the primary target.
Yeah, you can target those down so easily here. Counterattack is probably the right thing to do.
Baneling drop. Oh!
Oh, brutal.
Overlord shot down before it can drop. This game is falling apart for Scarlett. Scarlett going to try to battering ram her army into what might be a softer ground position over here for Armani. Armani is going to throw what he has on the ground and try to put this fire out, but also a great counterattack. Armani really playing a really incredible game here. GG, Armani. I mean, executionally was completely on top of everything. I think strategically that was really well thought out by Armani. Scarlett was not prepared for that mute attack. And then when we saw the Banelings get shot down out of the Overlord.
It was well hidden. Scarlett was just completed unready, and that's what happens. You don't have anything that shoots up and that many mutas appear?
Yeah.
You can't get out of that.
And then, I mean, I get the idea of her trying to counterattack and just ram through and do a lot of damage, but
it's either that or lose all your drones at home, so may as well.
Okay, so it's 1-1. Remember, Maru is waiting to fight the winner of this match, and Prince is waiting in the loser's match. So both those players, of course, looking amazing today. We're going to Death Aura, or Death Aura as we call it.
All right, I can't wait to see Speedlings attacking each other under those acceleration zones.
Oh yeah, that's going to be weird. We have Ling Bane in those positions. Our players have confirmed that they're ready to start the game. This is Scarlett versus Armani, Game 3, another ZVZ. Both players looking very strong. Let's see who takes it and goes to the winner's match.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니, 박진영.
Okay, so yeah, let's see what happens. Again, we didn't have a particularly aggressive series in Game 1 or 2. I mean, they were both pretty passive. I did like the pretty crazy tech switch there from Armani.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Scarlett seemed to have a somewhat similar setup from Game 2 that she had in Game 1. You know, she just wants to power up.
Yeah, just playing that macro.
But we've had a lot of games where Scarlett just does these crazy aggressive strats. So we're going to have to wait and see. Now, we're having a drone go up here.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is making my last statement look pretty spot on.
Well, this is
crazy.
This is cheese time for sure.
Yeah. Some cheddar.
All right, what are we going to see out of this? It's just going to be for Lings, right? Like, if you're going to make it
I
that
believe
early,
so.
it has to be.
So this is obviously not on Scarlett's side of the map. It appears that it can be a launching pad for Lings to get there slightly more quickly, which it might look small or insignificant considering how fast Lings are, but at this level of play, it's huge.
Well, just even the speed of that third hatchery. Let's watch Armani and see when his third hatch comes up, because that's going to be more larva as well for Scarlett.
This is a unique mathematical situation that happens in ZVZ is when does your larva come out? When did you get your pool? When did you get your queen and do the first inject? And keep in mind, the natural organic expanding pathway for Zerg on this map, if you're in the red starting spawn, is to blanket the upper right. You kind of spread that way. So this is why Scarlett has taken what would probably be the fourth base for the red player. She's just put a hatchery there, and this way she can flank it and hit. Now behind this, by the way, Scarlett's going to probably disguise her setup and make it look like.
Yeah, here's the question though. She should be making a third right around now, right? So Armani has to be wondering, where is that third? Because he has an Overlord looking for it. It's just not there.
Okay. Let's...
Wait, is she mining from that? She's mining from that fourth base.
No. Is she? You mean her third base?
The
fourth base for Armani?
Armani's fourth,
Her third, fourth.
Her third, his fourth.
His fourth.
Look at that, a queen.
What?
What am I even looking at?
What is she doing? Okay, I thought immediately it was going to be only Lings.
Okay, well, now that he's going to scout this is bad news for Scarlett.
Okay. We actually both whip around our chairs. Armani.
Oh, she shook her head and laughed.
Yes, Scarlett.
That's brutal, because now this isn't going to do anything. It seems like,
no, this
I think she
backfired.
wanted him to think that she was going to all in, because there's only 2 hatches, right? But she was just droning up there. So she's incredibly far behind from here.
She's pretty screwed right now. This is bad.
She lost a bunch of drones. She loses this space for free. Kind of a smart move to make overlords out of it. At least you're getting use of the larva.
Oh, yeah, that is a smart move. Okay, so on paper, this is it's unimaginable that you recover from this. But let's see what she's going to do. It seemed like what she was what she wanted to have happen with the strategy was it was going to be scouted a little bit later.
Yeah.
And by then she would have set up her trap already. But I think Armani, with that initial Ling scout that got in, said, okay, something doesn't feel right. Let me just check.
Yeah.
And
he
then
started
boom, he
scouting
sees it.
immediately. Well, you know, that's part of the thing, right? Like, he got 2 Lings in. There was no layer. There was no extra tech. And there was no third base. So eventually you have to look at that and say, well, I don't think that she is platinum level, where maybe you just have all this banked money and you're not making anything.
Right.
There has to be something somewhere.
Right.
So Aspire coming up. Does this not give her the best opportunity to come back?
Yeah, I'm surprised by the Spire. I almost feel like, and I might be wrong, but I almost feel like this is a
Wouldn't
little bit,
just a strong move be good here?
Well, I feel like when you're really ahead, you don't need to try to be tricky like this, right?
Yeah. And, I mean, you can play a straight-up Muta game. I don't want to make it seem like that, but it feels like there's, like, if you just drone up normally and make roaches from Armani's position, against what would you be behind?
What was that terrible movie where they had a whole bunch of magicians that were like, it was like Now You See Me or something like that?
Oh my God!
It's like
I didn't actually watch that movie.
It's just terrible, but I feel like
it's got that kid that always plays like a kind of smart nerd.
Yeah.
And they were all magicians that were friends or something.
Yeah, and they're like shooting cards around at each other, and it's actually one of the worst things I've ever seen. But I feel like this is a now you see me move here by Armani.
Yeah.
Where it's like, actually, you just have more. You don't have to do this. He's like, now I will saw my assistant in half. It's like, stop. Just go win the game. So
he's not just one magician. He's a whole group of
He's
magicians.
a whole group of magicians.
Like, are you guys too cool for everyone? Is that what's going on?
Those magicians were too cool for everyone the entire movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Despite magicians being maybe the least cool group of people.
Well, you say that, but have you seen Magic for Humans on Netflix?
No.
As soon as I saw that guy, I looked at my wife in disappointment and told her she could do better than me. Because that is the ultimate man right there.
Really?
Magician for Humans. Watch it.
All right, well, let's see if this is a Magician for Humans moment here, or if it's a Now You See Me moment.
Yeah.
Okay, one of those.
Let's see that. Let's see that. Well, gets a couple Overlords already. Ton of spores being made by Scarlett. I think he'll start the +2 melee as well pretty quickly here. That's what we saw from Armani in the previous game as well.
Okay, the Queens are coming in here. The Mutas have committed to a lot of these drones. It's kind of a funny spot now for the Mutas because they can't really get out without eating a lot of damage. They're actually stuck behind the base. They're going to try to fly through here. Really, Scarlett has everything that she needs to try to hold this. I love the moment this gets attacked. It's when the upgrade comes over here on it.
Well, it reminds her to.
Yeah, she's like, oh, that's right.
It's like, well, I have 4 queens. You're not gonna kill that, you know, right?
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so seems like it was more of a Now You See Me moment than a Magic for Humans moment.
So far,
yeah.
So far, but if Armani takes a 4th right now, continues to roam about, maybe this turns into a Magic for Humans moment.
Maybe it does. I don't know. Yeah, these Mutas. The weird thing about Mutas is that they have a specific time in the game where they're valuable, but as you tech up further, they don't really become that useful. Oh, here we go. These Lings are going to come in here. There's a lot of critical tech right over to here. Getting on top of the Lurker Den. The Lurker Den goes down.
Yeah, Infestation Pit here as well. We'd love to see her just throw up the hive. Yeah, there it is. So it's like, well, okay, you might kill that, but unless you wanted to make Infestors.
Oh my God, a great counterattack here by Armani, taking out all the drones. Also a denial on this Hydros Den, stopping that upgrade.
That is so painful for Scarlett. She has almost nothing left. And these Mutas turn out to be a Magic for Humans.
Yeah, this is a Magic for Humans moment. You know what this magic trick was? That he made me think that it was a Now You See Me moment when he was like, actually, I'm a Magic for Humans person.
That's why he's too cool for you, Tasis.
Yeah.
You just never understand, you normie.
Yeah, no, I'll never get it, yeah. He was like, is this your card, Tasis? And I was like, oh my God! How did you do that?
All right, Muta's actually diving upon the spores.
Okay,
even at
this
point.
game's basically over.
Yeah.
Armani really played well this series. I think Scarlett's strategy, I wish we could have seen what it was, but, you know, this is why you can't do strategies like this all the time in tournaments and get away with it.
Is there some small chance of her coming back because she's going to have Hive Tech? Because she can make Vipers and Parasitic Bomb plus Queens, you could take out the Mutas. But
okay,
I feel like
maybe,
if you switch right now, if you go, I think like Ultras would be a great switch for Armani here. Ultras could never lose in this position, I think.
Well, I think there's a lot of things that Armani could do to just close this one out.
But if your opponent's going like all spellcasters, Ultras are good against that, you know?
Sure.
And you have to go spellcasters if you're on 2 base like this with so few drones. You have to be like so cost efficient. More infestors on the way, more Vipers as well.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I think we're going to see GG in a second here. This damage is just too much.
Yeah, look at this. Baneling's just exploding everywhere.
GG. Armani
Ouch.
takes it. That means we'll have Armani versus Maru coming up next, and then Scarlett versus Prince for the losers match.
Yeah, kind of a rough game there for
Yeah.
Scarlett. She was trying to do something really ultra sneaky. And
I wonder if she should have taken the would-be 5th instead of the would-be 4th.
he was going to scout that too. So I think no matter what she did, she was going to get found out there.
Too bad for Scarlett, but look, she can still get out of this group.
Yeah,
she
it's
just has
still
to
doable.
take the long
Still
road
doable.
here.
Yeah.
Up next, we're going to have Maru versus Armani. Look, Armani looks great. Maru obviously looks great. He had a bumpy game against Prince here. I think it's actually still harder than I expected to call who really gets out.
Yeah.
Supposed to be Maru, but judging from the games, it's looking closer than that. We have a short break. When we come back to the winners match. Don't go away.
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
거기 들어와. 그 밑에 걔 잡고. 나이스. 됐어.
미안해 로나 화났어? 미안해 내가 해줄게 아 잠깐 내가 누르면 안돼 누르면 안 돼 지금 잠깐 켜놨는데 무슨 소리야
좋은 시간 되세요.
From the beginning
Hit it, boys.
고고 핫식스
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남 숙취엔 가스강
상큼한 복숭아 칠성사이다를 만나다
이런 청량함은 처음이야.
됩니다. 이어가게. 아이 같이 올리면서 이신영이 두 번째 벙커 위치가 너무 호전적이어서 김희철 선수가 서두르게 막혀가지고 안 잡혔어요. 자 위에서 있고죠. 저글링 다 죽으면은 갈쪽수 하나로는 벙커 못 깰 수 있어요. 그렇죠. 해병이 쌓입니다. 해병이 쌓여요. 해병이 밀고 있어요. 자 2차 벙커. 자 벙커 내야 됩니다. 갈쪽수 파괴. 제제. 시작 출발이 너무나 좋습니다. 초반부터 찌르기 강력한 푸시를 준비하면서 성공을 해서 1대0 스코어. 그러면서 진행강력에서 압박하면서 멀티태스킹 나오네요. 이병력 전부가 아닙니다. 11시 줄병력 또 있습니다. 자 밀어붙이고 힘들어밖에 없거든요. 11시 깨져요. 11시 온들가죠. 태클을 잘라본다 했는데요. 바퀴 쪽을까지 깨지면 추가면서 뭘 뽑아야 되나요? 자 이 확장기까지 떨어지죠. 이신영이 이어서 단짝이 엄청난 상대 김민철이 원할 때는 붙이겠는데도 불구하고 김시장과 멀티태스킹으로 이스를 또 따내네요. 이신영 들어가는데요. 내려서 싸우는데요. 뚫리면 안 되거든요. 무조건 버텨내는 우리 강조가서 막아내야 되거든요. 양쪽 다 못 막아요. 자, 양쪽 다 흔들리나요? 지금 빠져도 이거 진행적으로 김민철 맹독체 복사 절망의 시간이다. 너무 시간을 자 내려앉아서 의료선도 많이 떠 있고요. 네, 혹시 이시영의 폭발적인 공격력, 멀티해시킨 능력까지 발휘가 되면서 김민철 선수를 3대0으로 좀 잡아냅니다. 그리고요, 홍성대 잡아봐 끌어버리나요? 공격을 잡았는데요. 진격합니다. 자, 이구 주는 병력 내려오지 않아요. 예, 일단 의료선을 태워 살리면서 병력 피해 최소화하고 있고요. 어떤 소리 와야 되나? 이시영 편 컨트롤! 이시영의 컨트롤! 마이크 컨트롤 나오네요. 왼쪽 추가해야 돼! 시간이 나오네요. 컨트롤까지! 이거는 뚫어버려! 시간을 당깁니다. 뚫을 수 있겠는데요, 이거는! 뚫어! 박지훈도 다 보이고! 오영 걸고! 뚫었어요! 자, 뚫어버렸습니다. 병력 이시영 병력을 먹거든요! 시간이 있거든요! 올인으로 확실하게 상대를 무너뜨려야 돼요! 김민철의 압박! 상대를 무너뜨렸으며 오늘은 뒤지고 있는 상황에서도 절대 흔들리지 않은 김민철 이번 경기 잡아내면서 1점 따라붙습니다. 1점 준비를 선수들이고요. 1점 자, 이번엔 다 잡아내거든요. 시간만 보여줘서 건설로봇 정리하고 있습니다. 못 들어요. 이등 많이 와요. 추가의 독점. 분위기 폭풍놀이 준비하고 있습니다. 마무리를 준비하고 있어요. 물량 차이 나죠. 안 되죠. 자, 이번 연주 몰아내는 이기정 선수의 물량이 너무 많아요.
와, 의료선 따이고 지뢰 있고 야, 이시정 수비도 대박이긴 한데 맹독충에
물면 듯이 들어갔죠. 최고의 정원을 쉽게 포기하지 않습니다. 끝까지 물고 들어지는 거예요. 원하는 체제 빠르게 찌르고 그냥 끝내버려요.
이 정도 적을 하는 이건 버퍼 자체가 뚫리는데
들어버리죠. 하나 정리하고 좀 나눠서
버퍼 다 뚫었고요. 이러면서 센터까지
편을 잡아먹고 있어요.
센터까지 달려있는 센터까지
정리 또 나왔죠. 못 들어가게.
이거 이시정 어떻게 막을 겁니까? 뚫는 데는 확실히 있습니다. 뚫는 데는 확실히 있어. 오른골 3개
언제 못 보셨습니까? 언제 한번 나옵니까? 자, 김민철 준비가 다 됐어요. 김민철 알고 있었어요.
김민철의 분석을 이거 죽으면 하영재 죽으면 병력 안 나와요.
그렇죠.
이군수밖에 없어요.
없어요.
이군수밖에 없어요.
깨칠 수 없죠. 김민철 3대3인데 안전을 만드네요. 끝까지 갑니다. 김민철은 연습이 잘 돼 있어요. 쉽게 4대0 절대 만들잖아요.
죽을 각오하고 한 번 내려야죠.
정답 됐어요. 의료선 하나 두개 다 터져요.
일단 나서서
들어갈 수 없어요.
기갑병만 깔끔하게 잡아내면 정말 괜찮은 상황인데요.
그렇죠. 병력 여기 자원 수비 많이 했거든요.
이번에 별로 안 잡혔어요.
살려내기.
치명적이에요.
자원이 병력 어떡합니까?
김민철이
유탄을 돌렸어요.
유탄을 찍고 공격을 안 갔어요.
네.
유탄을 찍어놓고 수비를 했어요.
그렇죠.
제육장
나가죠. 자원이 뒤에서 맹독충 밀어오르고요.
제육장을 돌리고 싶은데
자, 그렇습니다. 건설로만 다 터지거든요. 난리였습니다.
갈 곳이었어요.
이병력 정리 다 했어요. 김민철.
진영 선수의 최후의
역대 단 한 번도 나오지 않았던 역수입이 오늘 결승전에서 나옵니다. 이 모든 거 사야 정말 해내기 힘든 걸 김민철이 혼자서 지면했어요.
라운드 24 마루 프린스 스칼렛 아르마니 Africa TV Breakup Studio Live 2020 GSL Season 2 code is The Coming Storm.
Welcome back to GSL Code S. Maru versus Armani is going to be the winner's match. Again, I think Maru is basically the favorite here, but let's see what Armani can do. All the games today, all the series today have been very close.
Yeah, I guess that's very true. They have been some close series, some interesting build order choices all over the place. As far as Maru versus Armani goes, we've seen Terrence fight really well against Zergs, but he always could do that. So I can't picture a world in which Armani wins against Maru two wins. You know, like maybe he could peel a win. He does some creative stuff from time to time,
sure.
But to imagine him actually eliminating Maru here and moving on in first place,
that would be a big shock.
Yeah.
That would be very cool. I don't know that it's going to happen, but I welcome it.
Yeah, you to write that story, you'd need like the guys who ruined Game of Thrones or something, you know?
You need D&D to ruin a story like that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, game one's ready. Maru versus Armani. Let's go.
준비되었다. 한번 시작해볼까? 제네어 그린윙스 마루 조성주 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니 박진영
Okay, 3 hatch. Oh, excuse me, never mind. Sorry.
That would be an interesting open.
Yeah, I thought, wow, especially against the guy that always puts barracks in the middle of the map.
Yeah, well, turns out that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, Armani looked very good today. Scarlett did not look that great in those games. She looked strong in game 1, but...
Well, game 2, she kind of had the wool pulled over her eyes, right? The hidden spire.
Yeah, the rug pulled out from under her. Yep.
Yeah. Fell down the stairs into a wood chipper, you know.
Yeah.
Any of those old-time sayings. But, yeah, game 3, it seemed like a mind game that was too mind game. You know, it was like there was no chance if it gets scouted of anything going right.
Yeah. You know, she did take a risk in game 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's just not going to pay off if it gets spotted.
Not that time, that's for sure.
But Armani looks solid. I don't know what to expect in a ZVT, though. I think the problem when fighting against Maru
is that he's better than you.
He's bigger, faster, stronger. I mean, he's so much better at controlling his army in these big engages. And one thing about Zergs is a lot of times when they're attacking in, the Terran gets the first opportunity, if you have really good micro, to exploit that and take out a little bit less damage, you know? And that's the thing about Maru. Maru and Innovation are the two players where when you watch them play, they just seem to not ever come out of a fight behind.
Yeah, that's true. They definitely have the best micro right now. No question there. Well, we'll see what Maru wants to do strategically here. Getting that reactor probably for some Hellions to pop out.
And for now, yeah, we gotta wait. I mean, we've seen this dance a million times with the Queen and the Reaper. The drones barely not getting killed.
Some Hellions coming. Starport on the way.
I think Armani still has a lot of practice. You know, he's got so much more room to improve. He's been a very good player. He's been overshadowed.
I agree with that.
I feel like he's going to be this year and maybe even next year and the year to come, the year after that, one of these Zergs that finds his own.
Yeah, I agree with your assessment. I think that over the last year and a half, I've liked some of the things that Armani has brought to the table, but you can tell he's not fully developed yet.
There were a couple players we thought this was going to happen with, like Keen. It kind of never. He never really got to where we
yeah,
thought
he
he was
peaked
going
a few times, but yeah, it wasn't quite as high as it felt like he could go.
He wasn't able to get to the upper echelons of GSL like I think he had hoped.
He was very close, though. He was right on the edge of it. Like, he actually, one of the seasons Maru won, he had Maru dead. Like, it was, some sadness around that, I think. But one thing we should mention about Armani while BC Tech is being brought up here with double star court, by the way, so kind of cool for Maru.
Yeah, very exciting.
Exciting. But yeah, one thing to mention is that Armani lives with Special.
Yes.
And that's actually kind of a big deal, because Special, first off, is one of the best Terran players in the world, but he's also one of the hardest working. And I think that, you know, you kind of become more like people that are around you. So there's no question that Armani must be playing like a madman right now. He must be practicing a lot, and he has a Terran player sitting right next to him that can analyze anything and help him with it, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of times our viewers can end up in the fantasy that it's the foreigners versus the Koreans and all the foreigners working together, when in reality, Armani and Special are roommates, and they probably are more interested in just helping each other out.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and so that's going to go quite a long way.
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. There's one BC being made.
Yeah, there's only one. Well,
there's
a second one. I was wondering if there was going to be like one BC and then the other one would just do Liberators or something weird like that.
That would be so weird. But the second BC is going to come out kind of noticeably later. Yamato on the way. We'll see how many BCs Maru actually goes for. It's been a little bit of a revival in BCs lately.
Yeah, BCs have been pretty popular in the last 2 years here.
Moving a little bit of the creep.
And this seems to be a kind of cute innovation on BCs, where usually one comes out and a lot of damage is done. In this case, it would be two. And this may really throw Armani off. I mean, it's already hard enough to deal with one BC.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know if he puts them together or if he spreads them apart. I think there's a lot that can be done here. It looks like we're still waiting for the second BC to come out.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It could really go either way. If you split them, you're just looking for drone kills. If you put them together, you're looking to make a real problem.
Yeah, you're trying to carve a hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's see what happens. Here they are now, and they're both going to teleport together.
All right, immediately Armani relocates that Spore, runs the drones out, but that is definitely going to cost him quite a few.
Kind of insane amount of damage. Already 8 kills here.
He's going to have Yamato relatively soon, but not for this exact battle. Yeah,
oh my gosh, almost kills that one queen. Really good control here by Armani.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very red queens right there. Some of them actually getting away. Does kill one right there.
Insane to see how much damage is being dealt over here. And Yamato is, I think, about 15 seconds out here, so...
Oh my god, look at how many kills he got with this Liberator as well during all this. It's a 14-kill Liberator at the moment.
Pretty insane here. It's finally picked off, but the battle cruisers are still in this game.
And he has Yamato now as well.
Yeah, so he can get a 1 kill on each queen.
1 kill on each queen? That's a funny way to say that.
That
makes me think he's going to kill every queen.
It's not technically wrong, but
no,
yeah.
it's correct.
Not
it's
the best way I could have said that.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 more battle cruisers coming here, so I think what he's going to do in a second is rotate those 2 weakened ones back home.
It would be funny to bounce these out and then bounce the other ones in right on top. It's like, how'd you heal so quick? What's going on?
Oh, he's not even going to send the weaker ones back home.
Yeah, I guess not. Maru just keeping the pressure on Armani right now.
This is a very cool strategy coming out here from, by the way, where's the other battle cruiser? There's 4 out, but I only see 3. There he is. I mean, how do you even recover from this?
Well, game number 2. It's, you know, like 8 corruptors are on the way. That's kind of the last chance here. But the amount of damage done is so severe.
Another queen goes down.
God. There are a few more corruptors that are going to be popping out.
Okay, he does get a snipe on that one. Nicely done. Is he going to get this drone? Oh.
Right, these ones not quite off their jump cooldown yet. But the damage has been dealt, really.
Oh, yeah.
Mech behind it. Are Corruptors good against Hellions?
They cannot even attack them, as it turns out.
What? How do you stop this?
You would think they would be able to float really low over the ground and just fire their attacks that way, but you can't.
Just pretend they're a building. Do the throw-up move on them.
Yeah, the barf move on them. I mean, how much more abuse is Armani going to endure here? This has been hard to watch.
Man.
This has been hard to watch. It's just been epic attack after epic attack here. Everything is always working out.
One thing I do want to point out is that like his drone count is all right now, right? Like
yeah, surprisingly,
we saw a good
fine.
amount killed earlier, but he re-droned relatively quickly, so that's good.
Oh, not a bad idea actually. Go for these add-ons here. The battle cruisers are going to rotate over to this base here. Base has not been finished yet. I think we might have to cancel here.
Yeah. Corruptors are way too far out of position to deal with this.
Yeah, Armani just not catching a break in this game here.
Well, it's one way to say it. Or Maru has broken all of Armani's limbs at this point.
Yeah.
He's got so little left over here. It's like a few Corruptors flying around, a few Roaches on the ground. Again, the drone count is still there, but yeah, what are you going to do? Are the drones going to get in Overlords and they dropped on the BCs to kill him?
He didn't break all of his bones. He took all of his bones and turned Armani into a jellyfish.
Oh, God. Some jellyfishes can live forever, though, Tasteless.
Yeah. Not this one.
No, not
this one. Dies to battlecruiser rushes. So.
All right, so Maru kind of tearing Armani apart there with the double BC rush.
That was hard to watch. I mean, you can see the difference that having a second battlecruiser makes. I mean, the first one, you can eventually push it out. But with two there, the damage is so high. And then right when it seems like that's run its course, two more battlecruisers come in. And I mean, I will actually say I think Armani did an insanely good job trying to hold that for how long he was in that game, but it was not enough. Game 2 is going to be on Everdream.
All right, see what Armani can do here. Is Maru going to throw a different curveball at him, or?
Maybe. Let's find out. Our game's now loaded up.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 제네어 그린윙스 마루 조성주 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니 박진영
Scouting once again for those proxies that Maru is so well known for.
A quick third hatch, you mean?
At the time he does that, there will be proxies out just beyond it.
Maru not going to go for any proxies this time around here. If he does, a probe will be up there. Prince will cannon rush him. It'll be crazy.
That was cool.
So I really like Maru innovating on the BC play. He gets a starport out. He sends a Liberator across the map. He made a Viking. It just didn't look like a BC rush. And then it was two BCs all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Very cool. And, you know, it really shows you how much preparation Zerg needs to have to even deal with one BC. That if you can throw them off with two, it's huge. And I don't think we've actually casted a game where there were two starports making BCs off two base. I don't believe we've had that.
At GSL, we had Innovation do it against a Terran player, remember?
Oh, right, but I mean,
yeah,
TVZ
against
here.
Zerg, I think you're right that we haven't had the double BC rush in GSL. I've seen it a few times in the foreign scene.
It seems like it's something that
Scarlett
we could
died
see.
to it once, actually, from Masa, if I recall
Oh,
correctly.
really? It does seem like something that could be used more and more here. It doesn't seem like Terran's giving up a lot to get 2 BCs.
Yeah, there is definitely stuff being given up, but like it looks really similar.
It looks fine to give up, though, is what I'm saying.
Well, also just from the Zerg point of view, how do you tell that this is occurring? It's like it doesn't look so vastly different that you can be like, oh my god, 2 PCs are going to be on the way, you know?
Right.
And there's already a Viking and Liberator out. It's not like your Overlord's going to fly in.
And what you need to have to hold off 1 BC versus 2 BCs is so vastly different. So this really puts a big scouting burden on the Zerg.
Let's see if it's going to be a BC.
You know, and there's always this funny thing where when you force somebody to go Corruptors, in a way, that's part of the plan, too, is now they have these useless units that...
Totally.
I mean, a little bit better against Protoss, I guess, because you can actually go kill more important buildings. But against Terran, that's not a real threat, you know?
Yeah, the Corruptors, it's like if you have some sort of edge with the Corruptors, you can suddenly do some cool things where you're going like Roach Corruptor or something, and the BCs have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was not the case there.
Go!
All right, well, it is a bio play this time.
Yeah, and this is much more of your run-of-the-mill Terran versus Zerg. Getting the stem out, we'll have, you know, the Starport eventually start to produce medevacs. And I think right now, you know, now that Armani's been defeated by some pretty innovative play here from Maru, I don't see any reason why Maru wouldn't at least try to dial it back and just play standard.
Sure.
Remember that if you're someone who's had the success that Maru has had, 4 GSL Code S championships, you're not just planning for your opponent or the group, you're planning for the entire tournament. And the number of builds that you can pocket to use against another Zerg later on is huge. And so I think Maru looks at this and says, all right, Armani, you've been weighed and measured, and let's just go ahead and bring my standard play out here. If I beat you with that, I've exposed less of my overall toolkit in a tournament.
Yeah, you don't want to use all your best stuff against Armani as Maru.
Right.
For most players in the world, absolutely, yes. Use every single trick you have against Armani because that would be an amazing victory.
I think that's, for instance, what we're seeing with Prince here today and his builds. This is the best of the best of the best that he has.
Yeah, totally. If they're like, I mean, we haven't had a Royal Rotor since
Deer.
Was it Deer was our last Royal Rotor?
Last Royal Rotor.
But yeah, I mean, that's been forever.
Yeah.
You know, that was like 2014 or something, or 2013.
Well, it probably won't happen again, to be honest.
Yeah, it's impossible to... No, actually, it could happen again if someone like Cyril comes over. Like if Cyril came over and played GSL, that could be a Royal Road. Even though that one feels weird because it's like, yeah, world champion won GSL, there should be no... there should be no fanfare.
But I guess technically, if he hasn't participated in this tournament...
He would be a Royal
He would be a Royal Rotor.
Yeah. Yeah, that would... The more I think about that, I'm like, well, that would be really cool, but it would be a weird... It's not like...
It's not like when Deer played where he really
That's
was a
normally
novelty.
when you discover a new awesome pro where you're like, this guy just came on the scene as a Royal Rotor. You know, that's how you describe the new legends as they rise.
Okay, so the 4th has been denied here. Here comes that push. This is with 2 tanks. I'm sorry, where are the medevacs?
They're coming. Probably boosting across right now.
They're there. Okay.
Ooh, really good placement on those siege shakes.
And also the Hellions are there to make sure that the Lynx can't counterattack and hit that. This is just like a really, 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 really good push. And notice how he's making absolutely sure that the tanks will never get surrounded and killed.
Well, this is just, it's so hard to engage this at all. Oh my god.
Oh,
you
2
see,
queens.
Armani is just in so much trouble here. We got the Lings come in, they get completely shredded.
This hatchery is going to die 1,000%.
I thought you were going to say this hatchery is going to die 1,000 deaths.
1,000 deaths. I mean, again, I don't see why Maru wouldn't do this. GG, just a straight up push to close it out in game. So there's no need to be creative. Again, as I've said in many GSLs before, Maru bigger, faster, stronger.
Just way too strong for Armani here. I think Armani definitely still has a reasonable chance to get out of this group. But Maru was like pretty much always going to win this group.
Okay, well, Maru, not surprisingly, by the way, is going to get out of the round of 24, go on to the round of 16. Armani is not eliminated either. He's one of the 3 players that are still in Group E. We're going to have an interview now with our Maru, and see how he's feeling. And we're going to be going to that interview right now.
Okay, so it is Maru taking the first place spot in Group E. We're going to have an interview with him. Congratulations. Thank you.
자, 먼저 1위 진출 소감부터 들어볼게요.
So how do you feel advancing into first place? Well, I came here really nervous, actually. I was sleep deprived, but I'm really glad I won at first place.
긴장을 왜
Well,
하셨어요?
Maru, why were you so nervous?
너무 무섭더라고요.
Because Prince is looking so scary. I don't know what he's gonna do.
다 생각하면서 했는데.
So I came here thinking of all the possible scenarios. But I'm really glad I won the
프린스
first game.
선수의 그 예상대로 자, 오늘 정말 조성주라는 대어를 잡기
So
위해서
Maru,
만반의
to catch a big fish
준비를
like you,
해오셨습니다.
Prince came here full prepared.
광장 게임이 끝났다면 정말
And had you not been able to defend the cannon rush, you could have lost 0-2 against him.
이변은 통하지
But
않았지만
Maru, it didn't work
그래도
against you.
오늘 그 패기에 당할 뻔도
But were you quite
했다고
scared from
생각하시나요?
his bold, aggressive plays?
솔직히 경기 들어가기 전에
Well, before getting into the game,
강자포로 할 것 같다고 했는데
I actually told
진짜
TY
하더라고요.
that Prince might go for a cannon
예상하셨어요?
rush, and he actually did.
느낌이 세하더라고요.
You know, I had this weird feeling,
네.
this chills.
들어가지고 생각하면서 했는데도
I mean, I played with that with sort of that,
프린스
but
선수에게서
it was really
김민지
hard.
선수의 향기가 났다.
And you're saying that
자, 오늘
Prince reminded you
승자전에서
of
평소와
SOS.
전혀 다른 스타일의 경기를 보여주시기도
In the winners
했습니다.
match, you showed a
아이오닉을
clearly different side of
예상했는데
yours.
이 전투 순양함이 나왔거든요.
Two
아주
BCs came
신선했는데
in.
사실 24강에서 조성주 선수가
And in the round of
보여주기엔
24,
좀 아까운
I feel like
판타지도
that's
아니었나 하는 생각이 드는데요.
that's a card that you probably shouldn't use in the round of 24.
여령이랑 연습하다 보니까 저거전 힘들더라고요.
I mean, I was screaming against Rogue, and the TBZ was really hard.
여령이 괜찮을 것 같다고 해서.
And Rogue actually suggested me to use that.
네, 이렇게 조성주 선수 준비하신 그런
Well, Maru
빌드까지
came here prepared as
보여주셨는데요.
well.
자, 지난 시즌 아쉽게
And
8강에서
last
탈락을
season,
했습니다.
you were eliminated in the round of
원희석
8.
선수와의 정말 이 질긴
And it
인연,
feels like the
좀
long
화도 많이
and
나셨을 것
undesirable
같은데요.
relationship with partying continues this season.
5대0 게임이라고 생각하는데 제가 못해서 진 거라서.
Well, I mean, I
다시
lost
만나면
because
제가
I played
이길
bad, but if I
다시
meet him again,
만나면 이길
I think I'm
것
gonna win.
같다. 자, 이번 16강 진출로 16강 조지명
With the round of 16 advancement, you earned your seed in the round of 16. So before you go, anything you want to say?
저번 시즌에 더 잘할 수 있었는데.
Well, last season I could have definitely played a lot better,
너무 죄송하고.
but I am very disappointed. I got eliminated early. So this time I'll try to make it round of 4. Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
자, 이렇게 2위 조에 1위
Thank you, Andy. Okay, well, look, this is the results that we were expecting, right? Maru gets out first. I think the rest of this group gets a lot more interesting. The games today have been good. Now we got to find out how Scarlett does versus Prince. We saw that, that Prince planned very well versus Maru. If you can do that versus Maru, you can basically do that versus anybody.
Sure.
But Scarlett is such a strong player. I think she still will probably take it.
Yeah, definitely favored here, but let's see what Prince has up his sleeve. Yeah, you know, he has to have prepared a lot for PBZ.
We're going to go to that break now. Don't go away.
싱그러운 청귤 칠성 사이다를 만나다.
이런 청량함은 처음이야. 칠성 사이다.
성능을 대용량 배터리로 언제 어디서나 더 오래 즐기다. 72Wh 대용량 배터리, 고성능 노트북의 새로운 기준, LG 울트라 기어. 듀얼 메모리, 듀얼 저장 장치. 고성능을 듀얼 업그레이드로 더 오랜 기간 즐기다.
라운드 24 마루 프린스 스칼렛 아르마니 아프리칸 TV 프레이업 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
What is up, everybody? We're back at the GSL Codes. This is Group E, and it's time for the elimination match. Prince versus Scarlett.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Prince has pulled out for PVZ, because he planned really well for the Maru series. But there's two Zergs in the group that he's more likely to beat than Maru, right? So he should have some great stuff. We see No Regret stand there behind Scarlett talking to her about the match coming up.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's like live Twitch chat, backseat gaming there. Don't forget to make overlords, they give you supply.
Yeah.
She's like, I know that.
But probably No Regret is a little bit smarter than the guys in the chat. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
Not like a whole lot, because all of them do is cheese anyways, but like a little bit at least.
I'm curious to see what Prince is going to do. I mean, he had a really impressive set of strategies that he tried out against Maru, and he basically had Maru dead until he threw. But Scarlett's very good in these kind of situations, so I don't know what's going to happen. I also am curious to see how Prince's PVZ is.
Yeah.
This seems to be a tough matchup for Protosses right now, even still.
Yeah, certainly you're right about that. All right, Eternal Empire going to be our first map. This is generally giving us really big macro games, so hopefully that's what we see.
All right, our game's loaded up. Let's do this. The elimination match, Scarlett versus Prince, game 1.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴.
Cannon rush, my friend.
Oh wow, look at that.
Hell
I
yeah.
actually wasn't looking. I was having my coffee, and then Artosis went like this. He went.
팀 GP 프린스 최민우.
This is exciting. Prepares Cannon rush for the first game against each race.
Wow. Well, this can't be a thing that he keeps doing.
Well,
or can it be?
You say that, and then we have
this.
players like Haas and
okay,
Harding.
Scarlett already is looking for it.
Oh boy.
Party's over. Look at this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I guess he wants to tuck a cannon there. And then he keeps one pylon on the high ground so he can go up onto the high ground.
Yeah, really well planned out by Prince, you can tell.
Well, this is just criminally cheesy. I absolutely love it.
Criminally cheesy. And you actually love it.
Yeah, I
That's
approve.
perfect. You know what, Tasis, you're right.
This is the Joker versus Batman StarCraft edition.
Yeah. Look at this, really well executed so far.
By the way, the cannon is going to be in range at the spawning pool. This is one of those unique moments where the spawning pool position is suddenly hyper relevant to whether or not you win or lose this game.
I feel like this is one of those 4 spine scenarios. You know? throwing down a ton of spines to try to hold this off, but
so
it looks like Scarlett just wants to go into Ravagers to kill this. Of course, Prince is tacking up.
The Cannon Rusher, formerly known as Prince.
The amateur formerly known as
Prince, yeah. Now his name is just a symbol. It's actually a drawing of a cannon.
All right. I mean, the thing is, the pull is not as important as you would think.
Yeah, you just need the Ravagers here.
Yeah, like.
By the way, this is actually in range, but the combination of the Queen. Okay, this
Scarlett's actually holding this really well.
Yeah.
But there's a follow-up here, and it's the Stalker follow-up.
Yeah, and the Stalkers actually in these small numbers of Zerg units are quite strong.
Yes, absolutely. Very microable. You throw down a couple shield batteries. It can be very difficult to hold. But look, the Ravager's already getting Biles off. That's kind of a big deal.
Now, the Stalker is a little bit weaker than the Ravager, but in the long run, oh, no.
Oh, not going so well for Prince right now.
No.
It's tough, too, because Spine is just such constant damage every time you go in range.
Right. Well, then, yeah, the Corrosive Biles, I mean, that's a limitless resource as long as you have the unit there to absorb the cooldown. By the way, this cannon that's out in the upper left has allowed these Stalkers to eat way more spine shots every time a Stalker runs through.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're at the number where they can eventually pick that off. There's no transfuse available.
All right, good pick off on that, and starting to actually do quite a good job against these Ravagers as well.
One Ravager that should have been picked off is actually still going to stay alive. The next Ravager is kited back perfectly.
Yeah. Prince ends up getting it. The drone's actually getting pulled here as well. Scarlett going to take out some of these batteries while they're warping in. Good cancels. And with no batteries, this becomes a lot harder. Everything is getting very low on health. I tell you, Prince needs a Nexus right below this ramp.
Okay, one Stalker eliminated. Great Corrosive Biles here by Scarlett. And they, I'm sorry, is that probe not dead? Yes, it is not. It just now is killed, okay.
Great pickoff, so by Scarlett. Eliminating the probe, eliminating every cannon that's been trying to get warped in. Not over yet, though. Two more Stalkers going to join the fray shortly. Of course, it's a full wall over at Prince's base, I'm pretty sure, so you can't get another probe out here so easily. Second gas just got taken by Prince, so getting ready for a little bit more than just Stalkers.
Remember that Protoss doesn't have another base behind this. I know we've basically had our screen over here the whole time, but now drones are being used to take out the remainder of the batteries here. It's just two cannons, which can easily be handled by the Ravagers. Both Ravagers, though, very low.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It's just the Queens and one Ravager now.
Getting pretty rough, but there's no batteries left over. So
Scarlett
what you see is what you get as far as the shields.
Scarlett only has 9 drones, though.
Yeah, not looking so hot.
To the 20 right now.
Trying to pick off that spine, but the spine will get down. Good hit there.
GG, Prince wins.
Right, Prince taking game number 1 with a
Prince of
cannon rush.
Cannons. The amateur formerly known as Prince, now known as just a drawing of a cannon, wins game 1. Scarlett is having a bad GSL day.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, this is the second immediate cannon rush that, because look, Prince could have beaten Maru in that game. He was basically supposed to win that. He did it again. This is like, Prince is like if you take all of the cheesiest ladder games together and then you boil them and you pour it into a bathtub and then you wait 12 hours and he just emerges from it.
I like it. It is what it looks like so far.
Yeah.
And then that thing from the bathtub tries to play a macro game, and that's what Game 3 against Maru was.
Yes,
You're like, oh, no.
You were born from cannons. You will die with cannons.
Yeah. All right, Ice and Chrome going to be up next.
So
it was a cannon rush. I think you can't judge too much of this series.
No, I mean, look, I think we got to see if Scarlett can play the game she wants to play. I'll tell you what, though, Prince, there's 100 little decisions you have to make in that rush to make the thing work, and he had every one of them perfectly. Let's see what happens in game 2, Scarlett versus Prince. The elimination match continues on.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까?
Just a hatch walk this time.
브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 팀 GP 프린스 최민우.
Okay, game 2, let's do this. Now, again, I think you're 100% right, Artosis, in saying that game 1 doesn't really tell us a lot. I guess it says something about Prince where it says, okay, this guy really wants to open with a cannon rush so that he can, in my estimation, disguise what his other strategies are going to be. One cannon rush that works, and then one crazy cheese or all-in that works, and that's enough to win a best of 3.
Absolutely. I hope that he still has some creative, cool stuff here, though, to show us.
I think he will.
Because if he just goes into, like, Glaives from here, it's hard to imagine him getting out of the group. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like, even if, because he's already got a victory. So if he goes Glaives twice here and beats Scarlett game 3, let's say. Is Armani going to fall to this, seeing that range out of him? It seems unlikely.
That's a very good point that you're making, Artosis. Remember, guys, there's 2 Zergs in this group, right? And 2 of those 3 players that are remaining are Zergs. So in theory, if Prince, not in theory, in application, if Prince wins here, then he has another Zerg that's already watched these games he has to play against. So how wide of a range of play does Prince really have here? I mean, a lot of these openers seem designed to just blindside a player no matter how good they are. And it's, again, the reason why we have these players play more than one game in a series is it's possible to pull a fast one on somebody, but the more games you play against somebody over time, the better player does come out on top.
All right, Stargate coming up right now. So nothing looking too unusual or anything. Happy to see the Stargate, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we wait.
Yeah, we got to wait and see what happens here. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat just trying to see if there's going to be some crazy tech here from Prince. Prince, besides that one game against Maru that he lost in game 3, really has not shown any kind of interest in playing an ordinary game. And which I welcome, by the way.
Yeah.
I know some macro players will roll their eyes at this, but I think it's kind of cool. I like the different play styles, the fact that
tournament settings, aggressive play can just be really, really good.
Yeah.
You can throw your opponent off so hard. Everything they practiced for, they might not be able to even do.
Yeah, you're taking complete
I think it's
control
great
of the
to
game.
dictate the game, and I think especially as a Protoss player right now, this is it's been this way for more than a year now, where it's like you've got to have kind of a wide range of aggressive plays that you can do to your opponent, because sitting back into the macro game is not something that has been working too much lately, especially against Zerg.
Yeah, it's why stats has been in the background for some periods of Protoss, where there was a period in time where it seemed like Protoss could be played in such a way where you were just the reactive player. You were trying to scout and react, and it seems like now Protosses have to be very, very smart at how they get to where they wanted to go, and can they hide it really well too.
All right, Oracle flying in.
Ooh!
Catches Scarlett in the middle of an inject there. 3 drones already. And it's not even in like dark red or anything.
Yeah. That was really well done there by Prince. And now we've got the
Archon drop follow-up?
It seems like that, yeah. It seems like we should have, tech into Archons and then some harass, and who knows, man? Maybe Prince is going to be really good in, a drawn-out macro-y type game here too.
Yeah. Let's see if a Dark Shrine actually comes up or not. Charge immediately. Interesting. All right, so this is actually more of a macro scoping. I think what we'll see is instantaneously Immortals being made to go with that.
I think you're probably right. You have the Archons come out here, drop and harass, and then immediately you just start to power up into Immortals. The more you have, the better. And from there, you're trying to set up into a pretty strong push.
Yeah. Now, that being said, 5 gates just went up after Templar Archives. So actually,
never mind.
Suddenly it's switching a little bit. This is a little bit deceiving, right? As Scarlett, this looks like a macro play.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, something else to keep in mind here, too, is that look at this map. How good are Archon drops really going to be on this map?
Yeah, no, it doesn't look anything
great.
particular. Like,
Maybe,
I think they gained a little bit of power from the Queen nerf, but other than that, just kind of normal.
Where the minerals are placed, and
yeah,
I mean, it's
totally.
not like you can hit a lot of different resource locations.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And get away with it. So maybe it's set up to look a certain way, and then you switch right out of it.
Yeah, this reminds me of a lot of builds Zest was doing, but Prince has kind of upped the ante a little bit on it. A few more probes, doing it off a 3 base a little bit later. Because there's a forge on the way and probes are being made, but yeah, I think with charge this quick and that many gates, we have to see a mass sellout warp in as soon as the Prism gets on the other side of the map.
I think you're right. Now, he is getting that forge with that, too, so.
Yeah, so it might be like, okay, let's do this attack and actually upgrade behind it. Get into a macro game still, but this attack in and of itself, do we have roaches tasteless? We don't. You gonna hold this with Lings?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Scarlett does not see the warp in Oh man, and this is gonna go right on top of those queens.
Yeah, head shake from Scarlett there. Her queens are gonna fall very, very quickly.
Oh!
Ooh, saves it right there.
Okay,
Can't use that transfuse. A lot of Lings getting in on top of everything now, but with the Archons there to help.
All right, the next warping round is gonna be above this. We see it just up there on the high ground. Warp Prism not taking much damage either, by the way.
Yeah, the Queen's doing their absolute best here. Some of them getting very, very low. No transfusion energy left also. Scarlett,
good
gets
pick.
a Prism and it had an Archon in it.
Yeah, and that immediately shoots this rush in the heart. It is done. Scarlett took some damage there, but shot that down.
Right before that camera shot, she gave a big smirk. And I think she should have, because when you look at that, I thought a lot more damage was going to occur. When she did not even see the warp in and immediately lost a queen,
it's hard
it was
to
looking
emphasize.
grim.
If you don't see them warp in and you have so much less time to react, it's crazy.
Now look at this, 3 Stargate. 3 Stargate. Prince is such a cool Protoss.
This is really
I am
exciting.
really starting to like this guy.
Well, he's got his own flair. I imagined that when we had Prince come in here, he was going to be more of a cookie cutter Protoss, where he looks like a worser version of Zest, or he does literally the exact same strats, because
absolutely,
these are the players that improve by watching GSL, and watching the pro matches. But it seems like he's got his own take on how to handle this. He's, I think, actually learned a lot from probably following tournaments like this and saying, well, here's how I would have handled it. Here's what I would do. And even if he doesn't win this series, I mean, this is a really exciting player.
Yeah, and look at this. Okay, he saw, he had to have seen the Spire when he was over there, right?
He must have, because this is such a good response to the mutas that are coming out. This is like a map hacker move.
Scarlett only saw 2 of the Phoenixes and only 1 of the Stargates.
Yeah.
Which, that's like normal, and you can still make your mutas and fly across the map and fight against someone who has 2, 3 Phoenixes. But here, it's going to be like +1 is on the way and 3 Stargate Phoenix. These mutas, it's not going to look good. They are going to get so wrecked.
Yeah, this is really bad.
When she sees this, it is.
Yeah, this is going to be.
She's not going to be happy.
Well, she's going to be shocked. This is going to be an investment that is actually going to put her behind.
Yeah, she is teching up, right? She's getting all sorts of upgrades, going to Hydralisks and whatnot.
Yeah, she's still set up for the late game. The Phoenixes have revealed themselves.
Oh my God! Look at this. As they chase the roaches, the mutas fly into the main base. Beautifully set up by Scarlett.
So had the Phoenixes been there to fight the mutas, this would be much better for Prince, but instead, we already have over 10 probes being killed off. Stalker's warping in, but I don't think this probe count's going to go, I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better here.
Man. Look at that.
And look,
19 probes being killed off already.
22 probes have been killed here. And look, yeah, that sucks. The mutas are all taken out, but it's not like they didn't pay off.
Well, that being said, right, like, we actually have a pretty good standing army from Prince.
Sure.
Maybe Prince can go across the map and get some damage done.
With the number of Immortals and Phoenixes here, if you can pick up, like, everything, and then the Immortals kill everything else. I mean, there's enough Phoenixes. I think there's literally more Phoenixes than there are Hydras right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that.
Actually, almost the same number, yeah.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh my
Prince
God.
actually just destroying almost everything here.
Prince with such a range of play here today. I love it. And I got to say, I'm shocked to be saying this. It does look like Scarlett might lose this game.
Yeah.
We're going to see if she can handle this push, but when you see them push past this first hatchery and drones are being pulled, it's usually a bad sign.
Yeah, generally. Now that Spore is actually taking care of the Prism. The Prism's gone. So maybe there's some sort of chance here, but behind all of this, I mean, Prince has a lot of production still. 12 drones going down.
Oh my gosh, she's going to hold it.
Wow.
I can't believe this. You know, you can never really afford to lose that Warp Prism.
Yeah,
when the
well,
attacks
it
coming in, it's just...
Like, that is what really gave her hope, flanking with that Spore.
Yeah.
There was no targeting down, there was no moving of the Prism by Prince.
Yeah.
And suddenly, it's like, yeah, you killed a lot of drones, but guess what? Scarlett just remade them. Scarlett's up at 76 workers right now. There's some clutch plays going on. You know what I feel like I'm seeing tonight is Prince has outprepared Maru and Scarlett, but they're better than him is the problem.
Yeah, they are gifted enough that even when they're thrown off, they can basically land on their feet.
Yeah, they're kind of
I
like
think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Prince did the homework. That much is for sure. And you see that in his prep, but it just seems like overall there's a little bit better control, but let's see how Act 2 of this fight goes.
This is a scary army once again. And a lot of the Phoenixes are gone and everything, and there are Banelings coming in. The Banelings going to help out quite a bit against these Zealots.
Okay, now it's going to be Archons in the front line with one Immortal. The Phoenix number again is very, very low. We have some micro here with the Warp Prism trying to help these units that are injured get away. Again, everything pretty heavily damaged here. Scarlett doesn't seem to have anything back here despite having so many workers. It seems like this army's going to continue to push here.
Yeah.
That Immortal's still very low on HP.
And the Prism's still around. That's a big problem. Another warping round can be put out. 25 drones going down. We're over 30 now as well. Targeting on that Prism. She does pick it off, and she might just hold on here once again.
Yeah, it seems like Scarlett will once again narrowly survive, but Prince, again, the damage has been dealt.
That was so many drones going down.
Yeah, and that did enough damage that I think even the third push might be enough to tip Scarlett over. Scarlett is going to have to fight even harder now to stay into this. That's a third Warp Prism that's been killed off this game, by the way.
Yeah, and 60 drones have fallen as well.
Man.
But tasteless. Like, the thing is, Prince is doing things really, really well. A lot of things, but now Scarlett's getting into lurkers. Breaking lurker defense is so much harder than what Prince has been breaking through.
That's very true.
She's making it more and more complicated for him, and even though she's taken a ton of damage this game, she's slowly but surely getting up that tech tree and improving her army, whereas every time Prince attacks, he's basically losing everything and having to remake it.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very important. We also want to watch this fourth base that Prince is taking here, too. Scarlett's back up to 61 workers, but that's time that she didn't have to make attacking units. She does have some more army as well, though. Lurkers can be very good depending on the angling you have when you're taking them. Remember that Archons are not that great against Lurkers.
Hold position Lurkers.
Oh, my God. Oh! Surprise!
That is some real damage right there.
Beautifully done by Scarlett, and that just tore through all of the shields on those Archons.
Yeah.
They are now obsolete and will not be able to fight. Yeah, that's it. Scarlett with some great play there.
Wow. Wow. And look at this. Now Prince, well, it's on to the next stage. Going for that fleet beacon. Looks like carriers are going to be his tech of choice moving forward. But now Scarlett is, like, pretty much all the way safe, right?
No, I think she's fine now.
Yeah, so she can do whatever it is she wants to do from here.
Yeah.
There's no way for Prince to get any more damage done.
This really shows how tenacious Scarlett has been in this game.
Yeah.
She was on the brink of death twice, manages to survive it.
Twice tasteless, 3 times
Three times, excuse me. And we have Prince taking a 5th base, but I'm starting to think it's going to be time for Scarlett to attack here. By the way, the creep spread is insane.
Yeah, no, you can kind of see, like, okay, Scarlett's mechanics are coming through here. She's held on against all sorts of wild attacks. She got countered several times. But suddenly, you look down and it's like, well, the workers are the same. She's got twice the army supply. She's got way more upgrades. She's on basically all the tech. Prince is no longer in that good spot that he was in before.
Well, this is going to be cool because Prince is now giving us an opportunity to see his late game, late game PVZ. He's going for carriers.
Yeah, the thing that bothers me is how he got here. We don't have Psystorm. We don't have attack upgrades, right? There's no blink. It's like we have charge, and we have +1 air weapons. And that's the upgrades. I guess we can consider Warp Gate.
+1 air weapons is not going to be one of the useful things.
Well, it's good with carriers, sure, but
it's
like,
good, but it's not.
How are you gonna? The rest of your army, what is it gonna do?
Zerg won't attack and then go, no, air upgrades. Okay, Scarlett is moving in now. Now keep in mind where the position of each of the Protoss army groups is, because it looks as though Scarlett wants to actually try to push up into this area. Oh, this will allow the Protoss army to merge up together here. Ooh. Harpooning the first carrier, harpooning the second.
All right, yeah, good harpoons there. Killing off 2 of the carriers, 2 of the 3.
Which really...
More and more Zealots and Archons for Prince. This is getting really desperate, because this army, I mean, against Lurker.
Prince really wants to exploit the positional difficulty it will have. It is to just advance in here easily. But it looks like Scarlett's found that opening. Not enough there to make any kind of concave that could drive that around away.
Yeah.
Is Scarlett going to go for the top base here?
I think as long as she takes this carefully, it's like impossible to see how Prince breaks through this.
Not enough carriers with interceptors to ever want your interceptors to go out versus the Hydras. The Hydras just immediately shoot it down.
True.
Another Warp Prism coming in here.
All right, let's see what he can do.
The Zealots just disappear with these Lurker shots.
Even with the overcharge. A flank comes in, though. This is still a big army from Prince. It's just Scarlett's army is so strong.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the Lurkers.
Oh, my God.
Okay, finally does take that out.
She's getting driven out here.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. Yeah, those Archons had a very good arc against the Lurkers.
Yeah, the flank was really, really nice. And Prince was basically maxed out as well. Still liking it for Scarlett, though, to be honest.
Sure. No, I see what you see here.
If Prince had splash damage, if there were Psystorm would be the best.
Right.
But even some disruptors here could be really helpful.
Well, especially against Hydra Lurker like this.
Yeah.
But Prince has fought back pretty well. Prince is still trying to finish the tech tree that was neglected early on because he wanted to have more power in his push. But now Psystorm's coming in here. Looks like Protoss is going to throw down a 5th base. I'm not clear on if there's a creep blocking that there or not, but a 5th base is going to get set up. Prince can now move out and start to chew through the creep tumors that were giving Scarlett a really good highway towards his base. And yeah, I mean, now we have enough Templar. Storm halfway done. This has been a real back and forth game.
Yeah,
I love it.
In the meantime, Scarlett's actually adding a huge amount of Lurkers.
Yes.
It's actually surprising to me how many Lurkers she's making here. I wonder what the reasoning is. Maybe that's just enough to zone out the High Templars and Archons and Zealots, because that's kind of the scary part of the army in a lot of ways. But there's a good carrier count. Oh, mispathing right there. Gotta be careful about that. Here come the Vipers, but there are Templars out here. Ah!
Okay, one carrier caught. The second harpoon is a death sentence. Scarlett gonna look for another position here. Remember, without creep down here, it's harder for her to move as freely. There's a 5th base being taken about a screenshot below what we had when we were looking at the Zerg's army back there. A small link counterattack is certainly going to be enough to take out this Nexus and all the workers here if Prince can't deal with it very quickly.
Well, some good ducks coming up here once again. A High Templar and a carrier being picked off. Prince losing that 4th base. Just brutal. He really needed that to have a real chance here, I think.
Yeah, I love the harpooning play here. We're going to have a push come in here. Now, this is enough Psystorms. It could be hard for the Zerg to deal with, but I guess the Lurker Spines, there's enough shots coming off that It does not matter. GG, Scarlett takes game 2, bringing us to the final game in this series.
That's the first time I saw a parasitic bomb on an observer ever. So very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a really good hold from Scarlett. You can kind of tell by the look on her face that she's like, what? Like, what was that game? That was crazy. But there was a lot of shifting of text there from Prince. I really am enjoying his style.
Yeah, he's actually.
I want this guy to be
so
permanent
fun.
Code S.
Yeah, I think he's.
I think there's a decent chance he's going to be. Yeah.
So what happens in game 3? I mean,
oh, well, that's up to Prince.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The way he's been playing, who knows?
Armani's been carefully watching these games, trying to figure out, okay, what's this Prince guy all about, really? Someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. That loser is out of GSL Code S until at least Season 3.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know who takes this. I don't know. Again, it seems like if Prince does these cannon rushes and they work, they win.
Yeah.
So I don't know that he's going to do it again here, but let's keep all of our options open. This player is still new. He's still an open book as far as you and I are concerned.
Yeah, I think she'll be too on guard to lose to a cannon rush this game. Like, this is where you really pull out your full awareness, I think. And just make sure that everything doesn't go wrong at the beginning, because you can see that Scarlett can outplay him as the game goes longer. You just have to prepare yourself for anything happening.
Prince
in the early
needs
game.
to not lose Warp Prisms if we can do a longer game. He lost like 4.
He would have won
or
the game
5.
if he didn't lose a couple of those.
All right, guys. Game 3 on every dream starts now. Let's find out who moves on and who's eliminated.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 팀 GP 프린스, 최민우.
So at this point, we see even more range being added to its openings, right? Game 1 was a cannon rush. Game 2 was a hatch block. Game 3 is the scoutless gas first expansion.
Very cool.
So Prince really trying to mix it up as much as possible. Would have been an ideal time for a 12 pool, but not going to see that out of Scarlett here.
Yeah, well, let's also remember what happened in her last game against Armani, right? She took a bit of a risk, and it blew up in her face, and so I can't imagine, there's several best of 3s you have to play today. Third game, you want to make that mistake again. I imagine.
Well, taking a risk in the final game is just, I like it.
It's exciting. I mean, it always makes you think of MVP versus Squirtle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's the most stress-filled part of the series, right? The final game where it's like anything can happen, and I don't know. There's something about that, about pulling that trigger when you're deciding. Such a big difference of outcome, right?
Right.
Where it almost common sense would tell you people don't do it, which is why they should.
Yeah, yeah.
Always go against common sense.
There's so much to mapping a proper best of 3, best of 5. So much to it. And again, everybody, we're not finished after this series. We have Armani waiting in the final match. We've either got another PVZ or another ZVZ. That ZVZ would be a rematch from what we had earlier in this group with Scarlett versus Armani, where Armani won closely in a 2-1 series.
Robo coming down after a Sentry first on a scoutless gas first opener. It kind of feels like an Immortal push.
It seems like it. I mean, no Stargate here, so we're not. It is scouted, by the way, by the Overlord. It's in a fairly obvious spot to put it.
But a Twilight comes up, so.
Huh.
We're mixing it up right now. Not sure with what yet, though.
There's a lot of different ways Protoss can get to a certain point in the game.
Well, oh, you know what? I think I know what we're going to see. I think there's going to be a Dark Shrine hidden right there. And I think that this will be an Immortal first, and then a Prism. Let's see.
And then DTs?
Yes. Because there's
That's smart.
Yeah, it's a build that I saw Patience doing a long time ago that I thought was kind of brilliant. During the peak of Immortal pushes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not it, because we actually see a Forge going down. We don't see an Immortal or anything. But he did this awesome strategy where he was like doing an Immortal push, and it really looked like an Immortal push. Then he just warped in 3 DTs and they won the game. It was like,
yeah.
whoa.
You've completely put a red herring into the game where it looks like this push is coming, and then suddenly it's something completely different.
Yeah, this is tricky. This is tricky. Now, there's already a layer up, so, I mean, Overseers are a reality.
Here's one thing to note, though. This is a strategy that is out in the ecosystem. So it's possible Scarlett looks at this and says, maybe this is actually that fake DT rush. I don't know. The Robo was certainly put in a spot where it didn't seem like the
timing of the Robo
worried.
really did not look like it was Twilight Tech. It really did not.
No,
you go
I
Twilight
know.
D4 Robo if you're doing anything with that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it does throw you off a bit.
We got to wait and see if Scarlett's going to get detection. If not, she can just straight up lose. There's one Overseer.
I don't think she has any Spores, though.
Yeah, and Spores are very helpful in trying to hold off these attacks. Here come the DTs. There is one Overseer, and the DTs have been spotted. Backing up.
Okay, it's not the end of the world.
No.
Right? This could turn into, like, Archon harassment. The thing is, it's slightly later than it would have been. DT Blink?
Wow, DT Blink.
How much did Classic change the world with that game?
It's crazy. Okay, not quite able to drop. So with DT Blink, we have more DTs coming here. This does tell us we probably won't have, I think, Archons right away, right?
Yeah, you don't make Archons.
You wouldn't want to invest into DT Blink.
Shouldn't DT Blink give Archons that were made out of DT's Blink?
Blink, they should.
Yeah.
Imagine Archons blinking.
That would be so
Just
cool.
blinking on top of your army and everything dies.
Yeah, you just surround the roaches with the Archons.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, Archons do counter roaches. That's super cool. What's he going to do with the Blink? Like, I like it. I always think you should get DT Blink if you're going to make more than a couple DTs.
This is a weird moment. I guess this Observer just dies.
And now he can't blink up because he has no vision.
Yeah, that was maybe Prince feeling the pressure here.
Okay, 9 DTs. Yeah, look at that. The Prism's at home. Ugh. Like, you might be able to, like, blink in and kill a hatch or something. I mean, the damage output of this many DTs is pretty magnificent.
Oh, my God.
And now she knows that it's blink.
To blink away, yeah. That's one of the problems is once you do that once, now the cat's out of the bag. The secret's been exposed, you know?
Yeah. Okay, it's actually going to be Swarm Host play.
I think this is smart. She could both attack and defend at the same time here. You know, the DTs with blink, you know, one of the reasons why DTs are oftentimes not an easy segue into a normal game after you've used them is that they're not easily used to attack or defend after vision is a factor.
Yeah.
You know, they basically lose a lot of equity.
Yeah, they only become strong again once there's so much going on that you can't pay attention to everything.
Both sides have almost the entire map, and so, you know, there's enough that you can then be distracted with stuff.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
Later.
There are so many juicy targets here.
Yeah, well, the Robo, the Forge, the Nexus, everything.
Want that pylon as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't actually notice that. Yeah, just one pylon there. And Scarlett has this setup that anything that she targets in these waves will just be killed off. Okay, now the DTs come in. They're going to take out the Spore. But again, the Roaches drive them away.
Yeah, a Spore and a Queen does not equal a Forge's upgrading and a couple units and a Nexus. There needs to be a lot more from Prince here, and quick. More and more Storm Hosts being made.
Okay, another escape over here. And this is a pretty straightforward game here, and you can see DTs are not very helpful in trying to protect this, right?
Yeah, the DTs actually get in front, and the targeting of these cannot be helped.
And so another Nidus network is placed outside here. And again, the idea is you pelt the main. Let's say the Robo Bay in this case, for instance, is a good target. Or the Nexus again. All are good locations to hit. Zerg is maxed out, by the way, on this. So there's a lot of climbing Prince has to do before he's on the same level, as far as development goes compared to Scarlett.
The only kind of saving grace is the max itself from Scarlett isn't that strong. It's good at what it's doing, but like if you don't have Locusts in the battle, then well, they don't really help your army at all, and that's a lot of supply.
Again, the targeting here on the Nexus, and this is rough, man, for the Protoss.
Yeah.
Because there's so many locations you can hit with these swarm hosts. Scarlett's doing a great job just staying out of range, deploying the Locusts, and then escaping right away.
Okay. I kind of like the overcharge. It does force the Locust to target that down. No Nexus dying or anything. DT's being mildly helpful.
No, they've done a pretty decent job.
Yeah. Kind of like the tasteless of the game.
By the way, again, over here on the Nexus, these batteries don't have a ton of energy, especially when you start to chip away at the hull damage. I mean, that's just so much. Now, Scarlett's making this inside the main now because she wants to be close enough to the Nexus to where she can kill it.
She's trying to be rogue right now.
Yeah.
This is like, we're going to hit epic record levels of Nidus openings.
Yeah. And this just, again, just chews through everything. The DT's immediately denied. Disruptors were in the mind's eye of Prince this game, but not any longer. Again, these gateways just taking so much damage. Now coming in here on the probes. And remember, guys, when you see these Zerg units killed, it's not a loss for Scarlett in any way.
It's what kills me. Anytime I see a Protoss actually fight against Locust, it's like, this is only value for your opponent.
Yeah, yeah.
When someone goes Stormhost against you, I think there is actually nothing you can do but attack. Anyone who sits in their base this long, the thing is, she chose a great place for it, so there was really no timing to attack when you went mass DT blink. But you're never going to max out and be like, all right, this is enough to kill him and actually kill him. Not at the pro level. That doesn't happen. And that being said, it's a scary army. But that's a lot of lurkers, and stalkers do not fare so well against
This
them.
is Prince's moment to try to do something, but I don't know if the unit combination is enough. But with the fortified defenses Scarlett has on 4 bases, I don't see what's preventing more Locusts from coming in here and attacking. Keep in mind, Locusts can also be used to defend as well. You just have to stay safe in between the refill times. Now, this is a pretty insane arc.
Yeah.
But again, stalkers are not that great against lurkers.
Really bad against lurkers.
Yeah.
They get shredded. Losing a lot of probes at home. Prince having such a hard time.
Looks like we're gonna have another wave of Locusts come through here. Scarlett looks great this game. I mean, Prince is hanging on. Again, it's a real uphill fight, and I don't see any pushes that have been victorious for Prince here.
Well, have you seen any pushes?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen. All I've really seen is Prince running around trying to put fires out on his side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem when you're playing defensively against this. It's just a continual value add for the Zerg.
Oh my God! Look at this. The main's now being destroyed.
Yeah. All the tech choices being wiped out. Prince really doesn't have anything. Like, truly. It's this.
Yeah.
This is an army from 2014.
Yes, this is a blast.
And Scarlett is going to send it back to 2014.
Yes.
With these units from after 2014.
Well, I think we're in the death throes of Prince right now. Scarlett may just abandon this 5th base here. Oh my God. Great harpooning there. The Disruptor's just completely obsolete to the Vipers. GG, Scarlett wins that series, and that means she will have a second chance to face off against Armani And if she's made the right adjustments, she can still get out of this group.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely still doable for her. She lost to Armani, but there was some weirdness in there.
By the way, man, Prince is a badass player.
He is very cool.
I really want to see more of this guy in the future.
Absolutely.
I am super excited to see what he tried to do, what succeeded, how well it did against the players that he was paired with.
He prepped his series beautifully, really, both of them.
He looks like someone who can easily be in another GSL and I think possibly even move on to a round of 16 in the future.
Honestly, I would be more afraid of him getting through the qualifier into GSL because it's like a bracket against a lot of different people.
Sure.
Than I am in these groups because he plans so well. That seems to be his strength, whereas just like the fundamentals of the game might be a bigger weakness for him. He seems like very smart planning-wise.
We've got a short break. We'll be right back with our final match, that rematch. Don't go away.
To play your own game, cover it up, don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how it feels. I bet you never even try to be real. You won't go fooling me twice now, baby. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. You won't go fooling me twice now, baby. I'm sorry, that's the way it is, yeah. Don't you think like that, I will love you endlessly. If you don't believe in me, don't you be like that, I will love you forever. If you don't believe in me, yeah. To let it go. I told you once, baby. I told you once what I know. You got to let it go. You won't go fooling me twice now, baby. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. You won't go fooling me twice now, baby. I'm sorry, that's the way it is, yeah. Don't you think like that, I will love you endlessly. If you don't believe in me, don't you be like that, I will love you forever. If you don't believe in me, yeah.
Call me up in the middle of the night, 'cause something doesn't feel right. No, we don't need to fight. I'm just trying to have a good time, yeah. Said it's lonely now when you're turning out the light. Said it's harder now to keep sight of everything you like about me. Just wanna have a good life. Torn at the seams, yeah, it's hard to believe that we made it this far. We were born in a dream, we've been lost out at sea, but together we are unbreakable. I called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right. I didn't want to lie about it, but I stayed out after midnight. I said, I'm sorry, love, I don't ever want to fight. Said I didn't mean to lose sight of everything you've done here for me, and I want to share a good life. Torn at the seams, yeah, it's hard to believe that we made it this far. We were born in a dream, we've been lost out at sea, but together we are unbreakable. I'm never gonna let you down. I'm willing and
울트라 기어로 부드럽게 이긴다. LG 울트라 기어 게이밍 모니터.
거기 들어와. 그 밑에 걔 잡고. 나이스. 자, 씨. 됐어.
아 미안해 로나. 화났어?
미안해. 내가 해줄게.
아 잠깐 내가 누르면 안 돼. 아 누르면 안 돼 지금. 자 경쾌하게 무슨 소리야?
좋은 시간 되세요.
From the beginning.
Get it, boy.
고고! 핫식스!
너무 많이 마셨다.
청정제주 숙취비법과 탄산의 만남. 숙취엔 가스강.
상큼한 복숭아, 칠성 사이다를 만나다.
이런 청량함은 처음이야. 칠성 사이다.
He's done it now 4 times in a row. He is your GSL Contest champion. He has done it! 뜨거운 박수 함으로 결승전 대결의 신선 있습니다.
라운드 24 마루 프린스 스칼렛 아르마니 아프리카 TV 프리급 스튜디오 라이브 2020 GSL 시즌 2 코드 S The Coming Storm.
All right, we're back, and it's time for the rematch. Scarlett versus Armani. Armani did defeat Scarlett in our second best of 3. That was a 2-1 victory. Scarlett went for a very risky strategy, putting her third hatchery where the opponent's fourth base would be, probably using that for a launching pad for an attack later on. It was shot down. We also had, in the other 2 games, macro build-up games. Nobody was doing any kind of crazy attacks early on. What will we have this time around? It's a clean slate for these 2.
Yeah. I think that Scarlett's favored going in here, to be honest. She won the straight-up game. Armani surprised her with Muta's game 2, and as you were describing, Scarlett had a very strange hidden base in game 3 and just kind of died. So looking at that, if she reels it back a little bit, she's got to be the favorite, I think.
I think you're right. But let's see. Ice and Chrome for map number 1. This is the last best of 3 for today. The winner moves on to the round of 16. The loser is out of the GSL Codes, at least until season 3. And our game is now ready. Let's go. Scarlett vs. Armani, the rematch.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니, 박진혁.
Okay. Again, we had in the first 2 games with these 2 players, very passive play. You know, it's almost like one player was waiting for the other to attack into them, which makes for some very interesting ZVZs when you get to those epic late game situations. You know, both players have so much of the map. When one player starts to attack in different locations, it's really hard to try to defend.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we're going to have in this series. You know, Scarlett really does tend to show the full range of possible ZVZ plays, right? I mean, we've seen Scarlett, you know, do crazy all-ins, and we've seen Scarlett win these really sophisticated macro games, and even with tricky mid-games, Scarlett seems to be pretty well versed at that. One thing about the Zergs globally is that they seem to be at times better than the Zergs in Korea. They seem to be very well versed in the different aspects of the race, and especially in the matchup ZVZ.
Yeah.
We normally point to European Zergs with this, but
there's generally been for the top tier, more Zerg players over there than over here. Like a lot of the time in Korea, it's been like our big 4 Zergs, right? It's Dark and Rogue and Su and Solar. And then like there was a period where Beal was just around there, but that was like a long time ago. And then like after that, honestly, sometimes the next best Zerg was Impact, sometimes it was Leenock, but you know, it was quite a drop down from those. And even Solar was sometimes quite a drop down from the other 3. And you know, when you look at it like that, it's no wonder, right, that the ZVZ has been very different out here. It's been very roach based. It's been very one-dimensional comparatively, I think. But everyone's kind of learned some of these other styles at this point. And we do have up-and-coming Zerg talent, of course, as well, like Armani.
So here we are again on this map. There's so many different ways to approach this. The problem with aggression early on in Zerg versus Zerg is it can act as a double-edged sword, you know? You attack it early on, you do too much damage, and then you don't get anything from it. By the way, great scout here. And so some players prefer to try to stay back and power up. A lot of this matchup is us just watching the production tabs and trying to say, all right, you know, where is the, you know, where do the different moves come in?
Right now, getting some fusion chamber going. Too big happened. Oh, nice little catch here on the queen. Not going to be able to finish it off, though.
8 more drones here from Scarlett. Yeah, a few of Zerglings have been added in here for Armani as the scouting continues. It's always a balancing act of drones versus any attacking units.
Interesting
Good
to see
scout.
the carapace upgrade from Armani.
Yeah, that's curious. There's a Roach Warren being thrown down as well. There was a scout there by Armani seeing the 2 additional gases being taken to the natural. Keep in mind that Armani tried to scout Scarlett's main, but only saw 1 gas, never the second.
Well, what do you think the carapace upgrade means here?
I'm actually not sure.
I feel like we're going to see like maybe some roaches more Ravager heavy into a huge Link flood across the map.
I think you actually probably nailed that. It looks like there's Lings already being made to tank. And we've seen this before in certain situations. I think a lot of times people think of roaches or Ravagers as the tanky units, but there are pushes you can do where the Lings are just constantly reinforcing and are always in the front.
Yeah.
And then the Ravagers are actually and roaches are the units in the back doing the damage. And, you know, because Lings with speed are so fast, you could just be continuously making that. And even though, you know, you wouldn't really think of a Ling as a tanky unit, if you just always have enough Lings in the front, then your units in the back can do quite well. So Armani, again, coming here with another novel approach to this matchup.
Yeah, it's I like the idea behind it, I think. You know, it makes it so that roaches will not be two-shotting your Lings, and also Banelings will not one-shot your Lings. So it does a lot, and of course it helps out both the roaches and the Lings, unlike attack upgrades. So let's see how this goes. A good amount of roaches have been made here. Walking across the map for Armani, there are those Ravagers being made. 21 drones less than Scarlett. So there's always that. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, well, this has to do enough damage. We'll see if that happens when the drones, if they need to be pulled, are pulled. Now, keep in mind, there's Banelings here for Scarlett, so if these Banelings connect with Armani's Lings, this is not going to do the damage it needs to do. The Banelings over here are trying to get the Banelings of Scarlett's Banes.
The Banes walk by here, but are getting targeted down, and now the Lings start coming in after the Banes are gone. This is a great move from Armani, doing a lot of damage right now. Spine's going up all over the place, though. Can Scarlett hold on?
This is looking really bad for Scarlett now. That Spine Crawler just now goes down. There's enough Roaches and Ravagers dealing damage. The Lings are still up here soaking a lot of the damage that should be directed towards a Roach Ravager. Drones are now pulled. Here's that moment. Scarlett starting out at 64. Let's see how low this number goes and if she can even defend this.
Yeah, more Lings are coming up right now. That is going to add a lot of power to this punch. And Scarlett microing back, but not able to two-shot these Lings because of that +1 carapace.
Okay, I think Scarlett's starting to stabilize. I mean, some of the drones were pulled, but not a lot were really killed. And now we have this action seesawing on the map. Scarlett actually punching back twice as hard. Every injured Roach is going to be remade into a Ravager, but Armani does see an opportunity to counterattack here. Let's see if there's enough Roaches that it can at least address the counterattack before all the drones are massacred. Let's also remember that, wait, is she backing off with this push? Where's this army on the map? Okay, I'm sorry. She's going to back off. I thought she was going to keep pushing forward here. But this means everything slows down for a second because there's no need for the Lings to counterattack in if the Roach Ravagers are turning back around.
All right, Roach speed on the way here for Armani right now. Is drone count still 10 below? Ouch. A little bit of a Ling counterattack. Well, actually finds its way in here to the main base.
Okay, so this is where the damage needs to be dealt here. Remember, these Lings actually have armor, so they don't die quite as quickly. You know, Lings normally die about as quickly as, you know, anything can in this game. So pretty good hold here by Scarlett. I mean, that was 4 drones only killed.
Yeah.
Way less
Not
than
too
you would
bad.
expect.
Yeah. Ling's still running around for Armani. Just trying to stay active on the map right now. Spire coming up as well while he continues to drone. I think Scarlett's going to kill him with a big attack before he can get mutas.
It seems like Scarlett should be able to steamroll.
She's going to be
Armani
max soon.
Yeah, she is about to be so big she cannot make any more units in the game. And I think from there, even with a clever tech switch from Armani, this is just going to be a game where the numbers don't add up here for him.
Yeah.
But I do love the timing attack we saw here from Armani. I think it was pretty cool.
It was a cool idea with the carapace.
Definitely some originality here as far as EVZs we've seen here in GSL, but I don't know if that's actually going to be enough to cut it. Okay, now these angles are hard for Scarlett to break through, but she might just have such an insanely large number of units she can just topple this position.
Yeah. I love the Biles forcing her back a little bit, buying some time for these spines to finish for Armani, but I think he needs more than just those spines. Oh, some huge Biles actually land from Armani, though.
Yeah, chipping off the back end of that army, but now the army's going to continue to push forward. I just don't think there's enough here for him.
Well, Armani brings the rest of his army down to try to help, but Scarlett going to flank as well.
Scarlett coming in here from behind. 360 degrees of damage. GG, Scarlett takes game 1. Beginning the revenge from the first series.
Whoa.
The look you gave me when I said revenge.
Well, I'm in awe of your story building.
Thank you.
Bravo.
My story weaving.
Yeah, no, you are just bringing the whole day together with that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Look at you.
If you were my 3rd grade student, I would pass you.
You would let me read my story in front of the whole class.
Yeah, yeah. And then I'd call your parents in for a talk. All right. Good first game there.
Scarlett is 1 win away from moving on. Let's go to Deathra. Deathra.
Yeah.
We got to call it Death or a Deathra, and we got to call Submarine Submarin.
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 And this next map, Evered Ream.
Yeah. All right, our game has loaded up. The rematch continues on with Scarlett versus Armani. Scarlett with a 1-0 lead.
경기가 준비되었다. 한번 시작해 볼까? 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛, 사샤 호스틴. 아프리카 프렉스 아르마니, 박진영.
Same openers we have here.
I really do like that strat from Armani.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
But again, you know, when you have these rematches, you've shown a lot of your best stuff already, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a really strong player, you might have a larger range of different play styles you can show. And I thought Scarlett handled that really well. That attack for a little bit from Armani was looking pretty good. It seemed like he had too many of his Lings go down and fight at the natural when the Roaches and Ravagers were still fighting over at the 3rd.
Yeah.
Seemed like a little bit of an
Maybe
executional
you need to
error.
focus on removing army
Yeah,
so
I think
you can overwhelm.
Yeah, I think you actually don't want to focus on workers right away.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Until they pull workers. It's one of these things about StarCraft. You know, there's so much of this game is just having the knowledge and the experience, and
yeah, it really is.
It is a thing where sometimes you're attacking in and you want to target their workers first, and there's moments you're attacking in and it's actually better to kill their army first.
Yeah.
Because then you kill all their workers. And I think that Armani...
Well, you have to know if you can break the army. Because
Right.
if you try to break an army and you don't break it, well, you are in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
It would have been much better to go after drones.
Exactly. If you can't break the army, then see how many workers you can kill off, and maybe this will balance out later on. But you know, this it's hard in ZVZ. I mean, the fights happen really, really quickly. You know, and especially with how fast Lings just move in general and how fast they die, even with that armor upgrade. Oh, here's the weird moment. We get to see
slow Lings look so fast under there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, is speed already done?
That's right. You get a speed Ling and you run it through that speed.
And a charge lot activates and goes after it.
Yeah. And then that's how you can travel back through time.
Yeah. Speed Banshees overhead.
Exactly.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
It just opens up a time portal and there you go. Now, what are you giggling about?
I was just thinking about the time portal. Everything's so fast in there. It's like, then like, you know, Bjorn puts his wrist in there, and then it's like the goblet scene from Indiana Jones. It's like, Bjorn, no!
Well, imagine a bunch of time-traveling StarCraft programmers going back and trying to convince Blizzard to change things about their race so they could win more tournaments in the future.
Yeah.
Listen, Banelings don't do enough damage. I'm from the future.
Trust me.
Okay, so this is bad for Scarlett. We have Armani springing an attack over here on this hatchery, and Scarlett just was not ready. She has to sack this. Now she's going to try to sandbag the entrance here as best she can.
It's a bit tough for sure.
Yeah. This is like a zombie invasion movie right now. They're boarding up the door.
Yeah. Looks like Armani doesn't want to sacrifice attacking on there, which I think is actually a good call.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of players overextend here. And then that's how you end up winning. Now, Scarlett's actually not dead. There's an alternative route you can take here. And by the way, this is not a mistake, her attacking that.
Yeah.
She does want to open this up eventually, but now this has triggered the attack here from...
That's painful.
This is actually so weird because she's going to end up losing both Evo chambers if she's not careful, so she can't upgrade, which completely causes the build to backfire.
Yeah, if she doesn't get that +1 attack, that's going to be very painful.
Transfuses.
Oh, man. Well, that's going down no matter what. It can't be stopped. Ooh, that really hurts.
Sucks. This is painful.
You're right, Tasis. That does suck.
Poopy face. This is just no good, man.
She starts +1 again.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, the most important attack and armor upgrades are usually the first ones, because then once you finish that, you're allowed to get the second and then the third. So, I mean, you're really behind in the race here.
Yeah.
Scarlett's pretty smart, though. I'm sure she'll be able to try to come up with something here. But just, you know, one of the big factors here is simply that upgrade being denied.
Yeah, well, especially because Armani actually got +1 carapace.
Yeah,
so when it's Ling Bane against Ling Bane, if someone has an upgrade and the other one doesn't, it is ridiculously one-sided in that way.
Whoa! Oh my God!
Oh.
Careful!
Well, they wouldn't have died, actually, because they have +1 armor. So.
They would have been fine. They would have gone back and healed. Still, though. Oh my God! Another force cancel. Things are looking grim right now for Scarlett.
Well, they're both going into Spire.
Yep.
Armani has not taken gases at his third. He's just taking it now. Let's see what gets done with this Spire tech.
Yeah,
I believe Armani just saw the Spire there, too.
He does like that Spire tech, by the way.
Yeah, he does. I like Spire tech in ZBZ in this.
I think it's smart.
It's cool.
So the 8 mutas are coming out here. There is a Mutalisk attack being upgraded.
Okay. Oh, and we're going to hide. Is Armani going Corruptor or Muta?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. Sometimes you see people go Corruptor.
Oh my God, not again.
What?
By the way, this really goes to show you how strong armor is.
Yeah.
The fact that all the Lings aren't immediately detonated, those Queens didn't just clean that up.
Looks very different, doesn't it?
Okay, I think that... I do not know that Scarlett is going to be able to recover. By the way, this is unusual. There's a hatchery being taken in the center left. It's kind of hiding out in the open.
Oh, that's definitely hiding, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
I almost would have
missed it.
Okay, there's only a few mutas out right now. Now, her Lings are at +1 now, so they actually fight pretty evenly there.
Okay, did she actually pull this off?
She use her third base and the
And
+1
her
attack.
yeah.
And then just flies in and kills him.
Is that just Scarlett?
Wow. All right.
I mean, the thing is, there's enough mutas here. Drones are being pulled everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this actually might be fatal right now for
absolutely.
Armani. I mean, yeah, this is just
Armani's trying to
every
pull
muta
enough
that comes
mutas
out
together.
has to take a bite, so the muta count's never going to be able to match what Scarlett has. Damn, Scarlett.
Wow.
GG, she does it.
Well, that was a clutch hold followed up by a clutch kill.
Yeah.
You can see Armani's kind of devastated by that loss.
Yeah, I mean, everything looked like it should have gone his way, but I think he maybe thought he was further ahead than he was. Scarlett putting her shoes back on. Many pro gamers, by the way, don't wear shoes when they play.
Do you mean foot prisons, Tasteless?
Foot prisons is what we call them.
That's right.
Now we're going to have all sorts of players all over the world playing with stinky feet out, because that's how you get better.
You know how to make sure you don't have stinky feet? You wash them.
Arto says, I'm a nerd. All right, I wash my upper torso in the shower, and then I walk
The
out.
soap
and
drips
the
down.
soap drips down, and it cleans my
Absolutely.
legs. That's how I do it.
The bachelor life.
If I've been eating Cheetos, I don't wash my hands. I just pet my dog.
네,
interview time.
2연속 16강에 성공한 브레이브스타 게이밍 스칼렛 선수 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 패자전과 최종전을 거쳐서 다소 어렵게 16강에 진출했는데요. 먼저 소감부터 들어보겠습니다.
All right, congratulations on the win, Scarlett. So in the end, you qualify for the round of 16. How do you feel?
I feel really good. To be honest, in the series against Prince on game 2, I thought 100% I had lost then and I was out of the tournament. So to turn that game around and then advance in the end, it feels really good.
일단 기분이 정말 좋고요. 이제 프린스 선수 상대로 이제 두 번째 게임에서는 확실히 졌다고 생각했는데 마지막에 이길 수 있어서 정말 기분이 좋습니다.
네, 오늘 박진혁 선수에게도 복수에 성공했습니다. 운영 중심 경기가 좋은 결과를 만들어냈는데요. 이 저저전 운영 연습이 많이 되어 있었던 것 같아요.
So you acquired a win over Armani, and it seems like you grasped the macro of the ZVZ matchup. So how does the ZVZ matchup preparation go?
It varies a lot between players, I think, in ZVZ. Some players like to play very standard with roaches and then scouting. And then some players like to play mutas and tricky builds. And after the first series, I knew that that's how Armani wanted to play today, so it made it a little easier to prepare for the last match.
이 저저전 같은 경우는 이제 선수마다 다른데요. 이제 몇몇 선수들은 이제 바퀴랑 그런 스카우팅 이제 그런 운영을 하기도 하고 다른 선수들은 이제 뮤탈리스크를 이용하는 운영을 하기도 합니다.
네, 오늘 먼저 알마니 선수와 처음 경기 때는 그 전진 부하장의 위치가 다소 아쉬워서 좀 허무한 패배를 하기도 했었는데요. 그 위치가 혹시 뭐 특별한 이유가 있었던 건지 궁금하네요.
So in the first series against Armani, you went for the proxy hatchery, and then Armani found out your location, and then it was quite an easy win for him. So do you have any disappointment with that one?
Yeah, to be honest, the biggest problem that game was my second queen was too late, so his lings got in and saw that I didn't have as much stuff as normal, so he knew that there must be a proxy, and he scouted around the map immediately.
이제 그 경기에서 가장 큰 문제는 이제 제가 그 두 번째 퀸이 여왕이 너무 늦게 나왔고 이제 그 상대의 저글링이 들어왔을 때 물량이 넉넉치 않아가지고 너무 쉽게 진 것 같습니다.
그렇군요. 자, 두 번째 2연속 16강입니다. 지난 시즌 16강 탈락 아쉬움이 상당히 컸을 것 같아요. 이번 16강 각오는 어떠신가요?
So this is your second consecutive round of 16 advancement. So I guess you were very disappointed last season. So do you any determination this season?
To be honest, last season in the round of 16 group, I thought that I would not advance before it because I was playing kind of poorly in preparation. But I ended up almost advancing then, one map away against Dark, and I could have won the last game against him. So I was a bit disappointed in the end there, and I hope I can do a little better this time.
이제 저번 16강에서는 솔직히 큰 기대감은 없었습니다. 왜냐면은 이제 그 당시에 연습 성적이 별로 안 좋았고, 근데 하지만 이제 막상 해보니까 박영우 선수를 거의 이길 뻔했고 그랬었는데 이제 져가지고 매우 아쉽고 이번 시즌은 더 열심히 할 수 있었으면 좋겠습니다.
그렇군요. 자, 그럼 이번 시즌 더 기대를 해볼 텐데요. 마지막으로 팬들에게 한마디 들어보겠습니다.
Okay, so before you go, I'm sure the fans are rejoiced. So anything you want to say to your fans?
Thanks everyone for supporting me. For a while I was streaming, to be honest, but I haven't for the past few weeks, so I'll try and get back to that because I know a lot of fans want to watch me stream, so I'll try and do that again, and please enjoy that.
저를 이제 항상 이제 응원해 주시고 이제 격려해 주셔서 정말 팬분들께 감사하고, 그리고 이제 최근에 몇 주 동안 이제 스트리밍을 안 했는데 이번에 이제 스트리밍을 또 다시 시작해가지고 팬들과 이제 교류하겠습니다. 이렇게.
알겠습니다. 이렇게 팬들과의 약속까지 해주셨는데요. 다시 한번 축하드리겠습니다.
Okay, congratulations, Scarlett.
Thank you.
네, 나 지금까지 스칼렛 까지 확인해 보시죠.
Cool. Scarlett advances. I think we can all get behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be very exciting having both her and Special in the next round.
And it looks like we were right this time, that Armani was ranked a little bit higher, but Scarlett should be the one that gets out.
Yeah, I think that's about accurate
and
right now.
You know, something else to point out here is that Prince looked really good. Like, if that's your first day at GSL,
Not bad. Not bad.
By the way, we're going to be back on Wednesday. It's going to be an hour and a half earlier than when we normally start because the group selection is going to be after this. So tune in early. It's 5 p.m. KST. We've got Trap, Patience, Bunny, and Ragnarok.
Yeah, really looking for at least Trap to get out of this group to kind of balance out that racial distribution in the round of 16 a bit more. But it's a tough group as well. All these players can be very deadly and have been in the past.
Yeah, and all of them looking just excellent in those dress shirts.
Oh, yeah. Glad to have Patience back this season, by the way. He was kind of the... Really, it was so weird that he wasn't in last season. Remember, Top eliminated him from the qualifier.
That's right.
And we got to have Top in here, which was great. All right, Kiwayan. But Patience, definitely one of the top 24 in Korea, I think, has been for a long time.
Yeah. And, you know, once we finish that up, we're going to be going into the round of 16. It always gets better with every phase of the tournament. But this season's been really exciting. It's great that we have new players that are coming and filling in the spot. I mean, when you think about the fact that this game is over 10 years old and it's still competitive and there's still new people popping up, which means the future is still bright. We've got players that were really good in the past who had to do their military service out here in South Korea. They've come back. They're also playing well. Things are looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's a fun time, and the season so far has been really exciting. I can't wait to see the final round of 16 and who's actually going to be in that. What are those groups going to look like? Because I think it's a really exciting group of players.
Yeah, I think on Wednesday it's going to be tough to say who gets out. I think each game is going to be really impactful.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different ways it could go.
Yeah, I think Trap and Ragnarok might be the favorites here.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Bunny's been doing well this season, or this year overall, and Patience has to be hungry to be back, and I'm sure he'll do things that confuse the hell out of them.
I think he probably will. And again, the group selection is going to be after we finish that group. So you're going to have to tune in early, but you can stay for extra time, and then you're going to find out who's going to be where in the round of 16.
All right. It's been a good day. I don't know. Make sure you tune in for the next episode.
I'm happy Scarlett moved on.
Yeah.
We've got Special and Scarlett both getting to the round of 16. You know, with coronavirus going on, we don't have a lot of the players that would be here in Korea right now. Nobody can really travel, or if you are traveling, it's a real pain in the ass. You have to do quarantine wherever you're going. But we still got some non-Korean presence here in GSL, which is exciting.
Well, Special and Scarlett especially have been here for so long.
Yeah.
They're kind of like part of the Korean scene at this point, even though they're still part of the foreign scene as well.
They get to be dual citizenship and scenes there.
Yeah, it feels that way. And well-deserved, too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's kind of wild when you think about it, actually, when you bring that up. This is the only live StarCraft, too, that there is.
Yeah, it's pretty much just
Weird,
us.
isn't it?
Guys, that's all the time we have. We love you. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be safe. Wear a mask. And have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.
Unbreakable. Called you up in the early morning light, 'cause something didn't sit right.